live.
Kansas State with a win today, and a Texas loss would clinch a berth against TCU in the Big 12 championship game in 2 weeks. West Virginia needs a win today to keep its bowl hopes alive. And we welcome you to Big 12 now on ESPN+. It is senior day for Mountaineer Field at Milan Puskar Stadium in Morgantown as 15th ranked K-State, the Wildcats, visit the West Virginia Mountaineers. Big 12 standings with 2 games left. Believe it or not, there is a path for all 10 teams to become bowl eligible, but for West Virginia, they have to win today and next week at Oklahoma State to do that. Happy Saturday to you. A lot of snow yesterday in Morgantown. The sun is out. It's cold. We're ready for football with former K-State and NFL offensive lineman Barrett Brooks. I'm Mark Neely. Tori Petrie's on the sidelines. We'll check in with her shortly. So Barrett, earlier this week, West Virginia parts ways with their athletic director, Shane Lyons. We'll dig deeper into that later. On the field, let's go back a week. Each team's backup quarterback last week is going to start today for K-State. Yes. Will Howard, it's going to be his second start of the year, 12th of his career.
Well, you know, this is a team that really confide in Howard. He's a guy that they can really trust. They know that his arm can get it to him, and the weapons that he has out there, they really trust him. He's got Knowles, he's got Sennett, he's got Brooks. He really trusts his arms. He can thread the needle and make the tough throws, and there you see Sennett going out there and making a play. Howard also has functional mobility. He can definitely hose it, but he can also make sure that he gets those targets like that guy right there, the cog that makes everything start working.
Deuce Vaughn is a good one to have on your side if you're Will Howard.
Absolutely. Look at it. He has 1,000 yards, 38 reception. He's a dual-purpose back. He does everything right for him. He runs around. And I'm not going to say he's small. No. I'm just going to say he's short because he is a ball of muscle, man. He can play.
Well, for West Virginia, the offense with JT Daniels at quarterback at Iowa State 2 weeks ago and to begin last week's game against Oklahoma, not effective. And Garrett Green comes in. He provided a spark last week with his arm and his legs.
Well, you know, they trust in Garrett Green also. He has the legs to go out there and really make plays. He can throw the ball around. They trust his arm. He can get the ball out to his weapons. But this is what he does best. He uses those legs, and he's not afraid to take a hit. He'll go out there and run up on a linebacker with the best of them. So he's a spark that they need, and if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he could be the starter from this point on.
Well, we are ready to go on this sunny Saturday from Morgantown. Kansas State won the toss. They have elected to receive. Malik Knowles, Phillip Brooks back to receive the kick. 33 degrees, so we're just above freezing. We had snow yesterday, but not bad football weather at all in Morgantown. Parker Grotehouse has a 42% touchback rate on the season. This one is returnable from the 4 for number 4, Malik Knowles, to the 20-25 hit there, and will be eventually brought down near the 30-yard line. 26-yard return for Knowles. We have Tori Petrie down on the sidelines. This is a big day and a little bit of a homecoming here for Will Howard as quarterback.
It definitely is, Mark. This is as close as it gets to a hometown game for Will Howard. He's actually got 20 friends and family up in the stands because he's from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, just about 4.5 hours from here. They made the trip over here to Morgantown to support him, including Will's younger brother, Ryan, who K-State has offered as an offensive lineman. This is a tight-knit family. Will's grandmother passed away in September of this year, and he draws a heart with the letter N for Nana on his wristband and plays for her.
So a lot of friends and family here for Howard. He's chased out of the pocket on the first play, and he's going to run with it. So it takes one play for us to see Will Howard, who we thought was the throwing quarterback, in lieu of Adrian Martinez, and he runs for 14 yards.
As we stated earlier, he has functional mobility. He can run. To be a big kid, he's 6'5", 240, and you can't just bring him down with an arm tackle. You got to go up and size him up.
So quickly on one play, a first down for K-State at their own 44-yard line. Deuce Vaughn in the backfield. Sennett is the tight end, offset from Howard. And Deuce is going to get the carry. Sidesteps one defender. He'll gain just about a yard to the 45 for Deuce Vaughn. Last week had 106 yards. His 18th career 100-plus rushing yard game, his 7th of the season.
You're talking about a guy he's just a muscle back there, and they trust him to go out there and get those tough yards. You would see, he says he's 5'6", but I tell you what, his heart makes him bigger than somebody 6'8". I love the way he plays. He runs in between the tackles well. He's what you wanted at the running back position as far as having a guy to just go give you total commitment when he's out there.
Howard fakes the pitch and lets it go, and he's got the tight end wide open. It's Sammy Wheeler. Last week it was tight end Ben Sennett that had a huge game. And Wheeler did not have a catch a week ago, but he has one here. He's brought down by Malachi Ruffin for a 36-yard gain.
Now, you know, they flood the outside zone, and, you know, they're looking at Sin. Sin had a great game, so they looked at him. And if they turn around, Wheeler gets the catch over the top.
Here's the handoff, and Vaughn gets through a crease. He's up to the 15-yard line. And just a handful of plays. You got K-State already in the red zone here on their first possession.
This is why you can go and take those shots down the field. When you run as hard as that and you get that type of chunk yardage, it opens up the play action. This is why they're going to have some success going over the top to Sennett, to Knowles, because you can have that run fake and beat them over the top with the pass.
You got Sennett in the backfield, the other tight end Wheeler on the left side of the formation. Howard's going to hand off. Deuce Vaughn running right. He's got an alley into the end zone. Touchdown, K-State.
Just great play, you know, guards, tackles pulling around on the counter play. Opens up the outside. The Mountaineer defense don't lock it down on the outside. You got to make sure you get penetration. They don't get any penetration. They slant away from it, and he just keeps going to the outside. The linebacker's supposed to fill on that play when the defensive line slants to the inside. He didn't get on the outside fast enough. Deuce Vaughn takes advantage of that and gets to the outside. He's explosive. He has speed.
15-yard touchdown run for Vaughn, who now has 31 career rushing touchdowns. That ties him with Josh Scobie for 4th all-time in K-State history. And he also now has 40 career touchdowns, which ties him Eli Roberson for 3rd all-time. So a bit of a historic touchdown for Vaughn, but it's a quick score for K-State.
Run inside zone. They don't get enough penetration. They slant the line away, bring the linebacker around. The linebacker doesn't get there fast enough. Just shows the speed that they have with Deuce Vaughn getting to the outside before the linebacker can fill. Outrunning linebackers and safeties to go for the touchdown.
A very quick drive for K-State. They won the toss and elected to receive, and Chris Kleiman's team marches right down the field and finds the end zone on their first possession.
That just goes to show how much trust they have in Will Howard maintaining the offense, getting the offense down the field to score on the first drive.
5 plays, 69 yards, right at 2 minutes is all they needed. Preston Fox back deep along with Sam James for West Virginia as the Mountaineers about to get the football for the first time.
And this Mountaineer defense, you know that they have to move around on this big K-State offensive line. So sometimes they guess wrong with the slant, and that's what happened, which eventually led to a score.
It's going to go to the end zone and come out.
Goes into the end zone for the touchback.
Out to the 25. Let's check in with Torrey. Got a little mic issue there. We'll get that fixed. But here's the West Virginia offense. And well, Garrett Green,
another backup.
It's going to get the start today. His first career start. Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week for last week.
Quarterback for the Mountaineers. First and 10 for West Virginia, ball 25.
They believe in his arm also, not just his legs, but they believe in his arm.
This crowd with some applause when they announced Garrett Green as the starter. Here's Bryce Ford Wheaton. Little jet sweep on the first play. Goes for a couple of yards. Brought down by Brendan Mott.
The offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell, said they've got to make sure they run the ball more efficiently.
And here's Green. He's running on the second play, and he is met by a wall of defenders for the Wildcats, including Daniel Green.
Penetration kills all run plays. And you look, they slant and twist and meets Green at the hole. This offensive line is good. They're an older offensive line. They're a skilled offensive line. This is the strength of their team. So I'm anxious to see how they're going to go against a 3-man front if they can push these guys around.
So this on their first possession. Mountaineers facing a 3rd down and 8. Green throws, and it's picked off. Intercepted by the Wildcats. Sincere Mason. Mason towards the end zone, diving for the pylon. Touchdown.
Great play with anticipation. The pass rush was unbelievable from the left side defensive end.
Well, Mason getting the start at strong safety with Kobe Savage out for the year. He suffered a knee injury last week at Baylor. So they do some shifting, a little domino effect. Mason getting the start, and he gets a pick six at 37 yards.
Great play. The run and the finish, you know, this is this is what you want from your linebackers. You know, he comes in, get an opportunity to play, and what does he do? Comes off and pays off, interception, and takes it to the house call. All started by the defensive lineman in the middle on the pass rush, able to put pressure on the quarterback.
Third interception of the season for Sincere Mason. And with just over 2 minutes gone in this game really could not have started any worse for West Virginia. We have a pre-snap whistle before the Ty Zentner point after attempt.
Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. We'll retry.
Uso Seumalo called for jumping. Uso, by the way, is getting some time with Robert Hintz not here. Robert Hintz, the second backup nose tackle for Chris Kleiman's team, not here, attending a family funeral, so he did not make the trip to Morgantown.
The war of attrition is starting to take effect on both teams. You know, both teams have some major players that won't be playing today. But this is when it comes to the end of the season. Who wins the war of attrition?
Well, they snap a Randon Plattner and hold from Jack Bloomer. The extra point up and good for Ty Zentner. 37-yard pick six here for Sincere Mason. What a start for the Wildcats. Can West Virginia get off the mat early? We're just over 2 minutes into the game. TCU, the Big 12 title game. K-State with a win here, and a Texas loss later today would be the opponent for the Horned Frogs in the Big 12 championship game. Sincere Mason, a 37-yard pick six. Chris Kleiman, the head coach at K-State, when we talked to him a few days ago, yeah, they've had some big wins this year. Win at Norman. A big win against Oklahoma State when Will Howard made his first start of the season when they shut him out 48-0. But he said last week, because it was on the road at Baylor, all three facets of the game, he thought that was their most impressive performance of the season.
It absolutely was. You know, special teams, defense, offense. Howard came out and had a phenomenal game. They shut him out. You know, that just goes to show that this team is on its way up. And that's just, you know, how it is in this Big 12 conference.
Well, Tori, not the start Garrett Green would have hoped for, but he's somebody that's got a great athletic background.
He certainly does. He actually comes from an MLB family. His dad played in the MLB in the 90s and now works within the Milwaukee Brewers organization. But, you know, Garrett wanted to forge his own path, and he's done that. He's now starting at quarterback at West Virginia. Obviously, you saw that mistake there in that last drive. That's something these West Virginia coaches are willing to take because of the eagerness that he brings at quarterback. The coaches say he's kind of like a puppy in that he just loves being out there with the football. Practice is his favorite time of day. He gets aggressive. Sometimes he freelances. Sometimes he makes mistakes. But you love the athleticism that he brings, Mark.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, Tori. Hands off. Justin Johnson gets the first carry, and the pile just pushes him for about 7 yards.
Yeah, that's the strength of it. They double team up front, hold the double team, and just keep driving your feet. Don't stop. Take that D-line on the ride. Now you with second and manageable. Now 2nd and 3 as opposed to being, you know, 2nd and 10.
They motion out Johnson. Green going to run with it. He's got a little blocking help. He's going to have the first down before he is met by Drake Cheatham, this week's Big 12 newcomer of the week after an impressive game against Baylor last week.
They can take advantage of this 3-down lineman because it holds gaps. It takes gaps in the defense because there's so much real estate in between these guys when they start stunning and crossing. The defensive line are crossing and stunning, and it creates a natural cabin for them.
8-yard gain for Green and a first down up to the 40-yard line for the Mountaineers. They motion Sam James to the near side. Here comes a blitz. There's a handoff. Johnson avoids one tackler and a second. Gets to the outside across midfield. He's into K-State territory. Rushed out there at the 47-yard line by Echo Boydo. What a 15-yard gain.
Great play right here. Gets out to the outside. Takes the defensive lineman where they want to go. Then he gets on the outside. Anytime your safeties are making tackles in the secondary, that means this offensive line is starting to work out a little bit.
K-State showing some more pressure. This 3-3-5 base defense and jumping in the air. It is batted down by Nate Matlack, the starting defensive end. I don't know about you, Barrett, but you know, for West Virginia, we're not even 5 minutes into this game. this already has to feel like a drive that they have to find points on.
You know, it's not a must, but it's almost a must just to show that they're, you know, they can compete with this Kansas State team. You know, defensive linemen are taught, if they're not getting on the rush, stop, jump, and try to knock the pass down.
Reed off to a 1-for-3 start through the air with that pick 6. And second down, Green going to hand off. Johnson running right, will cut it upfield and maneuver forward to the 41-yard line. Met there by Brendan Mott and others for a 6-yard gain. It's going to be about 4 yards short of the first down.
You know, offensive coordinator Graham Harrell, he's got the respect of this defensive coordinator at this point because they're starting to blitz. They start a run blitz, not necessarily pass blitz, but they're run blitzing, knowing that 3 down linemen is not enough to stop this offensive line. It's a pretty good offensive line also.
Neil Brown's team, a win over Oklahoma. A field goal by Casey Legg to win the game with no time left.
They've had a lot of games like that.
They have. Legg won almost one like that at Baylor. That run is completely stuffed. Nick Allen with 52, no gain. It's going to be 4th down from the 41.
The interior defensive line able to get penetration on the counter play. They found some work when they ran this counter play against Oklahoma.
And a surprise, they're going forward on 4th and 4, down 14 early in this first quarter for Morgantown. Reese Smith motions into the backfield. Green looking to throw. Does throw. First down catch. That is Cortez Braham. His 11th catch of the year and a first down. Pick up a 15.
Great patience by Garrett Green. Instead of running, he kept his eyes down the field and eventually, you know, saw a crosser crossing across the field. This is where, you know, you can get a big play. His athleticism was able to get him outside and found the receiver on the outside.
So on 4th and 4, they convert with a 15-yard gain, and West Virginia knocking on the door of the red zone here. First down from the 26 of K-State. Bringing 4 this time. Here's a pass going towards the end zone for James. Touchdown! West Virginia responds. Sam James closely defended there by Josh Hayes, but a really nice throw by Garrett Green. And the Mountaineers get a big touchdown to respond to the early big start by the Wildcats.
Great pass on the outside, back shoulder. Caught the defender on the outside, able to make a play.
4th touchdown catch of the season for Sam James.
Coaches love him. They say he's a great athlete. He just goes short right there. High points the ball, back shoulder throw. Beats Josh Hayes on the play.
3rd touchdown throw for Garrett Green. 26-yard touchdown. Casey Legg on for the point after. Wasn't a great snap, but nicely done by the holder, Colton McGee. And West Virginia, after falling down 14-0 just a few minutes into the game, that's a big drive for them, Barry.
Huge drive.
Touchdown catch for James. It's 14-7, still early in Morgantown. Yesterday, he already said, yeah, we're going to start Garrett Green. And I said, if it doesn't go well, will we see JT? And he said, yeah. It didn't go well on the first drive, but they didn't pull the chute right away on Garrett Green after the pick 6. That second drive was much better for Green in the offense.
Yeah, you know, Coach said that he trusts Garrett Green's arm. He's just got to go out there and execute. Like you said, he's one of those guys, a frenetic type of player. When things are going great, it's going great. But when it's going bad, it can go bad real fast. And I think that Garrett Green, he has the attention of his playmakers and his team. And I think at this point, I think they're going to go forward with him, and he can continue to play like that. He could be here for a long time.
Green, a big part of the win over Oklahoma last week. First win in 14 years for West Virginia over OU. Their first ever as a member of the Big 12, and their first ever over OU here in Morgantown. As Knowles is going to take a knee in K-State's second offensive possession. We'll begin at their own 25-yard line.
This is where I think this defense of the Mountaineers need to step up, get a little more penetration. Got to play at a higher level.
Will Howard, he came into last week's game against Baylor when Adrian Martinez suffered a right leg injury and came out late in the first quarter. finished off the game. And I tell you what, that offense did not miss a beat.
No, they didn't.
Howard, an impressive 5-play drive in 2 minutes on K-State's first possession to begin the game for a touchdown. Hands off Deuce Vaughn, races straight ahead to the 31-yard line. We haven't seen a lot of the offense for K-State. That's just their 6th play of the game. But Barrett, as we look at this run from Deuce.
It's just smash mouth football, just running right up the middle. Your big guys are my big guys, and if the Mountaineers continue to slant like that, they got to make sure they get some pressure from these linebackers to come up and make a play.
Well, last week they started, well, a few weeks ago, lining up Deuce out wide, and they line him up out wide here for the first time. Sinnott, the tight end, is in motion. It's a little screen out to the outside. And Knowles, with the blocking help from Sinnott, will have a first down as he crosses the 35 out at the 39.
That's way too easy. That's just pitching and catching, you know. I mean, Ruffin needs. He saw the play happening. He went out there to go initiate contact, but just didn't do enough. I mean, of course, that's a tight end on a smaller DB, but that's the matchups that Sinnott, you know, creates out there as far as blocking. And you know, Knowles is one of the better receivers in the Big 12.
They threw to the opposite side of where Deuce was lined up. Deuce in the backfield once again, and he is stuffed. He'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Linnell Carr and Dante Stills smother him under for no gain.
Yeah, this is where it all has to start right here. Number 55, he beats the double team, slips past, and goes up to make the play on Deuce Vaughn. There was nothing they could do about it because he split the double team. Stills has that type of skill set that he can go out there and dominate a game. It's just about him going out and seeing which guy is going to win the war of attrition.
Dante Stills, who has a career school record 52.5 tackles for loss, almost added to that there. And there's a pick. Malachi Ruffin coming the other way, and West Virginia responds with their own pick six. 42 yards. And now West Virginia's just an extra point away from tying this game.
Great read by Ruffin. Great read by Ruffin. Bad pass by Howard. Howard, I mean, he wasn't open. When you watch it, he goes into a second and third read, and he throws it too late. And Ruffin's able to undercut the pass. He takes it to the house. There's 2 house calls in this game. We're talking about 2 teams right now to understand what they have to do to either be number 1, be in a Big 12 championship, or number 2, be in a bowl game come bowl season.
Second pick of the year for Ruffin. He had one against TCU here on this field a few weeks back. But this one officially a 41-yard pick six.
Great defense, man-to-man.
Delay of game, kicking team. It's a 5-yard penalty. Try for the point.
It's going to back Casey Legg up another 5 yards. Shouldn't be a major issue. Well, look at the response for West Virginia. We're just over 2 minutes into the game, and it's 14-0 K-State. But Neil Brown's team an extra point away from tying this with just over 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Defensive coordinator Jordan Lacey said he didn't know if he wanted to run any man-to-man. But there, they played man-to-man.
And he missed it. So he was kicking the equivalent of a 26-yard extra point, and Legg misses an extra point for the first time this year. He was 34 for 34 this season before that, and West Virginia does not tie the game.
Those are the little things right now that keeps West Virginia from taking their game to the next level. How many games have they had where little situations like this keep them from winning the game? A penalty here, an interception, and they're losing by 5 points here, 4 points there. This is exactly what head coach Brown said. We can't afford to do that.
Here's the pick six, Malachi Ruffin. It's kind of eerie here, Barrett. We got 2 guys who were backups a week ago starting for each team. They each have had one impressive drive, and they've had another one in a pick six.
Yes.
Knowles from the goal line is going to bring it out. 15, 20, 25. Met there, but drags the special teams defender all the way out to the 32-yard line. That was Jasir Cox who got a hand on him, number 7, but Knowles got some extra yardage.
This is one of the things that, you know, this Kansas State team prides themselves on, is special teams. They've returned a lot of kicks this year, and it's just because they believe in who they have returned. Knowles is starting receiver, but yet he's back returning kicks.
Chris Klimate's team jumped out to a quick 14-0 advantage. They still lead it, but by 1. And the third Wildcat drive for Will Howard in the offense begins from the 32. DJ Giddens going to check in the backfield for the first time. Tight end Sinnott offset from Howard. Giddens gets the carry. He gets flipped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain there. That was Aubrey Burks, the free safety. Number 2 came up to make that hit.
Got to play around that line of scrimmage when you're a safety playing against a team that loves to run the ball. And there he goes to make a play. This defense of the Mountaineers, they're starting to get hyped now. Once, you know, guys start feeling themselves, Dante Steele starts making plays. You got guys coming up and making plays like Burks. They have some athletes. You know, their record doesn't depict how good their athletes are. They are a really good, athletically and talented team. They just don't make sound mistakes. I mean, don't make sound decisions sometimes to lead to bad mistakes.
Howard fires, caught by Brooks right at midfield. There's Burks on the coverage that time, and that's going to be a gain of 18 and a first down just into West Virginia territory for the Wildcats.
That's what it is. You know, you expect to run, you boot left, get it out, he throws across his body. Great play. Brooks goes and makes a play.
30th catch of the season for Phillip Brooks. 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Brooks, Warner, and Knowles. Giddens running left, has the blocking, and there goes Giddens down the left sideline, and he is gone. 49-yard touchdown run for the redshirt freshman from Junction City, Kansas.
Great play. Watch the offensive line. Block down, pull around, get the outside guy kicked out, get the backside guard up on the linebacker. Then it's just straight speed on the outside.
Well, Giddens doesn't get a ton of carries, but he's definitely a different back than Deuce. You got Giddens at 6'1", about 215 pounds, and that's his 5th touchdown of the season. Zentner on for the point after, and he knocks that straight through. And it's an 8-point lead for the Wildcats.
And we're
trading touchdowns right now, Barrett.
Backside guard gets up. That might be a push in the back right there on him. But that's what you want. Speed on the outside.
Well, our first look at the Big 12 scoreboard today. How about Baylor right now with a 1-point lead with a little under 12 minutes to play in the 4th quarter in Waco. Number 4 TCU, number 4 in the college football playoff, 10-0. So their hopes of being in the CFP certainly ride with coming back to win the game at Baylor. They know they're going to be in the Big 12 championship game. They've already secured that.
It just goes to show how the Big 12 has a lot of parity, and you got to come with it every week when you play in this interconference play.
Well, we've had 5 total possessions between the two teams. Every possession has resulted in a touchdown, but Barrett, we've had each side with a pick 6. So the defense has scored 2 of those. There's your drive summary for K-State. Very quick score to begin the game, and then the pick 6 from Sincere James to get the touchdown run of 49 yards. DJ Giddens. So now let's see how West Virginia responds with just over 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Down 8. They missed an extra point after their second touchdown. This is a run. This is Mathis, went left, now goes right, gets a block from the quarterback Green, and runs for about 8 yards.
You love to see that. Quarterback out there leading on the block. You know, shows the change of direction right there also. Get out there. What do you quarterback do? Let me go down and get a block. He stuck his nose in there.
He's something else, Garrett Green, man.
See too many quarterbacks doing that.
No, not too often. Green hands off again. Mathis He'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Picked up one. Drake Cheatham and Austin Moore combined on the hit.
That's defensive coordinator Joe Klinderman. He's slanting guys and bringing linebackers. You know, he's blitzing, run blitzing. These aren't passing, but these are run blitzes that he's sending to try to stop this offensive line and getting up on the second level.
By the way,
bring second level to him.
Congratulations to the K-State defensive coordinator Joe Klinderman. This week announced a nominee for the Broyles Award, which is given to the top collegiate assistant every year. And he did not get there.
Great
it's going to be
up front.
Down. And still a yard. Daniel Green, who leads the team in tackles, over 90 tackles now.
Penetration kills run play. He gets up the field, and wow, that's a dominating defense on a really good offensive line.
They were quickly getting to the line. The center judge stops them. The crowd didn't like that. They're going for it. Here's the push, and I don't think he hadn't gotten there yet. I don't think he got it.
That's 1-2. They did it one time, and they got the first down. This time, it was straight penetration right up the middle.
And Green's upset. He's talking to the center judge. I think they're still upset they weren't allowed to snap the ball when they wanted to initially. He's trying to get a push from Mathis on the backside.
Great penetration up front.
But it was not enough, and they turn it over on downs at their own 35-yard line.
Daniel Green, Eli Huggins, Felix, I'll let you say his last name.
That is Felix Anudike Uzama.
Great penetration up front. That's how you set the tone. Penetration kills all run plays.
So they take over at their 35-yard line. Howard looking to throw, hit as he throws, and that's almost picked. He just got it out of play. Diving attempt by Linnell Carr.
Great pass rush right up the middle of this Kansas State offense. Carr just penetrates.
That's Coach Brown. Again, they're not happy that they weren't allowed to snap the ball because they didn't substitute. So they didn't have to take time to give K-State time to substitute. They're just unhappy that the center judge did not allow them to snap the ball when they wanted. They feel that played a part in them not converting on fourth down. Here's Vaughn. It's wrapped up by Aubrey Burks.
That's one of the best plays of football right there. It's nothing but a good old trap play. Influence block up, get the defensive lineman up the field, and run right in behind them. You pull that backside, get still going up. See, that's how you use your best play, use their best defensive player to get up the field, use his speed up the field, and run right back underneath him from a pulling guard going to trap him.
Wildcats a 3rd and 3. Fakes the handoff to Vaughn, fires, finds Knowles, and it's a sprint towards the end zone. They catch him at the 3, but he dives in. They're going to mark him down just shy of the goal line. Rashad Ajayi, the only one that kept him from getting in the end zone.
Simple slant play by Knowles. He beats the defender to the inside. After that, uses speed.
K-State right to the line. Throw far side for Brooks. Now they're going to whistle this play dead. No play. I think they're going to take a look at this and see if Knowles got in the end zone. Yes. Now we're a ways back, but to me in real time it looked like he did get in before he went down. And on that slant, it was just a foot race. Ajayi got to him just inside the 10, and
I'll tell you what, Phillip Brooks is a little mad because he scored on the next play. His knee is down, not just yet, right there.
What
was he over?
Tough to tell from that angle if he had the ball touching the goal line or past it.
That's why I'm glad I'm not an official. I like being up in the booth.
You know, he's down right there.
Yeah, I think they might have got it right.
Yeah, there's nothing that we have seen that would overturn the call on the field, which is that he came up short. mean, the worst case scenario here for K-State, yes, it's not a touchdown, but it would be 1st and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
I'll take that.
Ajayi was trying to strip him of the ball there at the end.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Runners now short of the goal line. It is 1st down.
Mark, you were right. It just wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call.
But it is 1st and goal for K-State at the West Virginia 1. With the Wildcats leading 21-13 with just under 2.5 minutes remaining in the 1st quarter.
This has to be their big dogs up front. You need Dante Stills to go out there and play.
And West Virginia turned it over on downs at their own 35 and keeping it. Here's the push. No signal just yet. And Howard on the keeper apparently did not get in. Yes, there's a very late call. They say as they unravel the bodies that he did get across. Touchdown on a 1-yard TD run for the quarterback, Will Howard.
I mean, you're a little quieter than about it being the best locker room. Sure.
So Howard with his 2nd touchdown run of the season.
Howard has a lot of confidence in his ability to do whatever he needs to do. His running ability, his arm to fit in tight spots to receivers.
Well, 4 plays, 34 yards after taking over on downs. And Zittner with the extra point makes it 28-13. Hey, Tori, when we talked with Coach Kleiman this week, he said he loves his team. He loves what they do in the locker room.
Yeah, Marquis said this is the best locker room he has ever had at K-State. That doesn't necessarily mean the play on the field. While he's very happy with that, he thinks that their character is the best that he's ever had. He says this team is very player-driven. He's a little different than Bill Snyder because in those days you really had to play exactly how Snyder wanted you to do it, and he doesn't want this team to be about doing it Kleiman's way. He wants the players to have ownership and do it the team way, and the players hold each other to that standard. So he is very happy with how this team works together, Mark.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Tori, and Barrett, you can speak to this
yes.
with your time not only playing in the NFL, but in college. You played at Kansas State.
Yeah, and I played with Coach Snyder.
Yeah.
It was the Snyder way or the highway. And, but I mean, Coach Snyder saved my life. He instilled discipline in me and made me grow up. He promised my parents that he was going to do it, and he did it. He ran it into me. And, loved me up also, So, he's a great coach. But Coach Kleiman, totally different direction.
Yeah, this is his 4th season, Coach Kleiman. He's going to become they're going to bring this out. Sam James trying to make something happen, gets to the 20 and stop there. Coach Kleiman will be the first head coach in Kansas State school history to make the postseason with a bowl game 3 of their first 4 seasons, because they've already clinched that.
He's got his guys here. I remember I did a game from last year. They were playing Nevada, and he didn't have a full complement of players that he brought in. And he's now starting to get those players here. So this culture is starting to really grow right now. And he holds those guys accountable, and they hold each other accountable. That's a pretty good atmosphere to be in when your young people are going out there making decisions, helping you coach.
Let's see how West Virginia responds. First play, throw for Bryce Ford Wheaton, juggled it. I don't think he had it. The ball came out. I don't think he ever had control of it.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
It was jumped on by Tomas Remak, the left guard, just in case. But I don't think Bryce Ford Wheaton ever had control of this.
No, you look at it, they read their play perfectly. They saw the tunnel screen and came up to make the play. They didn't even come out of the back pedal. Defensive backs didn't come out their back pedal. They saw something and went and made a play. It's been a lot of man-to-man in this game. Coverage.
Like that, don't you?
I love that.
It's Cap Green was hesitating. There's a late flag, comes flying into the secondary. Green may have lost a half yard. See about the flag, our referee Derek Anderson today. Flag's back over at the 32-yard line.
Holding, number 1, defense. It's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
It's on the free safety, Josh Hayes. So the hold will push the ball up to the 29-yard line with a first down now. After the hold on Josh Hayes.
Yeah, you can see it. He
yeah.
got beat. Yeah,
no doubt.
He lassoed him.
Grabbed Reese Smith, pulled him down. So first down for Green in the offense. Play fake. Green wants to throw. He's going to take a deep shot going for James. It's caught. Sam James. And West Virginia has a long touchdown pass from Green to James. And the touchdown fest continues on this Saturday in Morgantown.
That was just a great adjustment to the ball. The secondary didn't adjust well to it. Way to get out on the outside. Both Cheatham and Hayes, they just didn't adjust to the ball in the air. Hayes should be the deepest man. He wasn't that deep. Hayes runs into him, Cheatham.
James' second touchdown catch of the game. He had one at 26 yards earlier in this first quarter. This one 71 yards.
Those two have some chemistry, don't they?
They do. That was an outstanding pass from Green. And that one goes left. And Legg, who hadn't missed an extra point all season, had hit 34 in a row, has missed 2 straight.
Mark, earlier on in the day when they were up there warming up, I kind of saw this happening. It's a straight 9 route, a straight go route. Runs past Josh Hayes.
Can't throw any better than that, can
couldn't
you?
get over the top, and just the chemistry between those two. I mean, they've worked some time out throughout the week to get that type of chemistry to go over the top. That's 2 plays in a row that those guys have went out and accomplished that type of long play.
Sam James, so explosive. Last week, remember there was the fake punt that he was a part of? It was a big play that they converted.
And coach was like, are you sure you're going to call this play? Are you sure you're going to call this play?
And then he's the gunner on the punt team, plays on special teams, and then what he does at wide receiver with touchdown catches, 4 and 5 on the season for him here today. Getting that one from 71 yards from Garrett Green.
You can see this defense of Kansas State really putting the emphasis on making sure Bryce Ford Wheaton won't beat them. Well, I'll tell you what, Sam James is out there beating them at this point. He might have to allocate some resources to try to stop him.
Knowles will return it from the 1. Malik with some blocking near side. 35-40 is where he steps out of bounds. But it'll be very good starting field position for the Wildcats. It's the kicker, Parker Grothaus, was the one that was able to get him out of bounds at the 40.
That's been a major point of emphasis for this Kansas State team. They love special teams, and it's been instrumental on how they've really won games the past 3 or 4 years. From Brooks to Knowles, those guys really believe in their speed and their ability to return on not just kickoff returns, but on punt returns.
Well, we've seen a lot of offense. The defense that we've seen has been each side with a pick 6. But other than that, neither team's defense has done a whole lot of stopping in this game.
No punting right now. There's been no punts.
We have not had a punt. You are correct. With 1:15 to go in this first quarter. Vaughn motions out, looking in that direction. The pass almost picked, but somehow Warner caught it for a 5-yard gain. And Malachi Ruffin, who had a pick 6 of 41 yards earlier in this quarter, almost had a pick there.
You know, once again, you look at Howard. He believes in his arm. He believes in his players to go catch it. I guess he felt as though, hey, if Warren doesn't catch it, nobody will. And Warren came through with it.
Inside the final minute of the first quarter. Looking, Vaughn just squirts through, and he's going to have a first down at midfield.
He's just so explosive, and you can't see him. I mean, he's going one way, he gets lost in between those trees, those big, tall defensive offensive linemen, and then all of a sudden he squirts out for a first down. Great play. Look, now the play, he's supposed to follow that guard pulling around, but he cuts it back, goes from the back door, and gets the first down. Unbelievable how talented he is.
Howard on first down, looking to throw. Plenty of time, and he's got him wide open. Sinnott Inside the 15, Sinnott down to the 11. He had a huge career day last week at Baylor with 7 catches, 89 yards, and 2 TDs. He gets his first catch of today, and it's a 39-yard pickup.
You know, you can attribute him being that open to Deuce Vaughn being on the outside. Watch Vaughn go on the outside. Look how many people looking at him, and the Sinnott just squeaks in right behind him. You had 2 linebackers look at him and try to stop him, which led to him, Sinnott going over the top for the long pass play.
What a wild first quarter in Morgantown with K-State driving again. But each side with a pick 6. Not a whole lot of defense. Our 2 quarterbacks who were each a backup last week have had some good moments and a few bad moments. But we'll see what the second quarter will bring us here in Morgantown. Pick 6 on each side at the end of one quarter. 28-19 K-State. Yeah. DJ Giddens with a carry to start the second quarter. He goes for 4 yards after we finish off a first quarter where we had almost 400 yards combined total offense between the two teams. 238 K-State, 157 for West Virginia.
That's absolutely ridiculous. We need our defenses to get going. Mountaineers, Wildcats, let's play a little more defense now. They have the players to do it. Dante Steele's out there as a horse. He give him an opportunity to get loose.
Loose ball. Giddens picks it up, looking for somewhere to go, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Pushed back beyond the 15. There's a West Virginia player down near the original line of scrimmage, Jared Bartlett. Slow getting up.
Yeah, fumble snap, you can't afford to do this.
Going to go for a loss of 7. They're going to mark it down at the 15. So they can get a first down without scoring. The marker's at the 1, the line to gain. But it's 3rd and 14 from the 15 for K-State. With 4 receivers, 3 at the bottom of the screen. Here comes a blitz off the edge. Howard has room, throws to the end zone for Sinnott, and touchdown.
I tell you what, those two have some chemistry together. I mean, you could tell that they love to play ball with each other, man. That was a great pass, a trusting pass that he was going to be the one that was going to come down to it. Because in all actuality, if you look at it, Howard could have probably ran it in. Once again, Deuce Vaughn attracted so much attention that, you know, the defender that was out there followed him. Gets out, uses a little bit of his escapability, turns around, then that's a great catch and great throw.
2 touchdown catches last week. Sinnott gets a touchdown catch here. His dad, Tom, old buddy of Chris Kleiman. They were in high school together, and Tori's got more on the connection between the Kleimans and the Sinnotts.
Yeah, Mark, for that reason, Ben has been on Coach Kleiman's radar for quite some time. They actually went to the same high school that him and his dad attended together. That's Columbus Catholic High School in Waterloo, Iowa. The Sinnotts are still in Waterloo, although they did make the trip to Morgantown here today. Tom Sinnott is actually Coach Kleiman's parents' insurance agent. So many family connections here. They joked about Tom being the life of the party, but he said he couldn't tell any stories about Tom because Tom threatened that he's got stories on Kleiman too. Kleiman really saw something in his son Ben, though. He just knew he needed a place to develop, and they've given him that here at K-State.
And Tori, the last couple of weeks, I'm including this game now in this as well, for Ben Sinnott, have just been breakout games for him.
You know, he kind of went under the radar because at the time when he was getting recruited, he was only 205. Didn't Coach say he was 205?
Yeah.
So nobody really looked at him. Well, look at him now. 6'4", 247. Can run, catch.
From the goal line, James thought about it for a fraction of a second. He's going to run it out, and that may prove to be a mistake, and he will be dropped at the 13-yard line. Let's go back and look at that last K-State touchdown. You mentioned it. I thought the same thing, that Howard may run this ball towards the end zone.
Yeah, he could have ran it in. You know, he showed a little escapability. And then look, all the focus attention goes to Deuce. He could have ran it in, but just his belief in Sennett being able to go out there and catch the ball, just why run it when I can just give it to my guy?
You know, Deuce was open as well. Howard could have run it, and Malachi Ruffin had a pretty good coverage on Sennett.
Yeah, he did.
Howard had to really lay it in there, pinpoint, to find the target and get the touchdown. Well, down 35-19 here early in the second quarter. The Mountaineers start this drive at their own 13. Green going to hand it off. Justin Johnson finds a nice little crease and runs for a first down gain all the way up to the 25, picks up a dozen yards. Cheatham with the stop.
Offensive line started moving, stop that penetration.
25.
And they said you have to have more production running the ball from the running back position. Not the quarterback, just the running back position. They need more results. This is a really good offensive line. You got to use these big fellas up front.
Of course, Tony Mathis was hurt for a few weeks with an elbow injury, but when they lost C.J. Donaldson to a season-ending injury a few weeks ago, that was crushing for the West Virginia offense. He was playing and running really well. Here's a pass to the tight end, Brian Polinde, just his 4th catch of the season. And he picks up 6 to the 31, met there by Daniel Green.
K-Check running matchup zone in the secondary, able to come up and make a play. They're blitzing. They're sending blitzes. And as I said before, these are more so run blitzes to try to make sure those defensive linemen don't get double teamed and triple teamed. You send a blitz to keep the double team off of them and go make a play on the inside.
Green hands off. Johnson making sure he's got that ball well wrapped up. Looks like he will have enough for the first down at the 35. Another tackle for Drake Cheatham, but it will move the sticks for the Mountaineers.
First down, West Virginia.
Cheatham's a very active safety, too. Plays well around the line of scrimmage. Got beat over the top for a touchdown by Sam James, but he's got to make sure that he's the deepest man for the most part. He's the last line of defense.
Both tight ends, Traylon Davis, Brian Polinde in there for West Virginia with Johnson in the backfield. He's going to follow the tight ends there and try to run for a few, and does up to the 39-yard line. Tackle from K-State's defensive end Brendan Mott.
They have a very, very athletic offensive line.
39.
Pull around. A little counter play.
Clock running with 11 minutes to play in the first half in Morgantown. Green looking left. Finds the tight end, Traylon Davis, with a first down catch to the 47. His first catch of the day, just his 4th of the season.
Garrett Green showing he can really throw the ball. He's going through his reads, get to his 2nd and 3rd read.
Ball at the 47.
That's what made JT Daniels such a good quarterback. At this point, Green showing he has the capacity to do the same thing.
Mountaineers have a first down from their own 47-yard line. Bryce Ford Wheaton is the motion man. Green fakes the handoff. Green going to have to step up. He's going to run with this football to the 42-yard line for another first down. They'll mark him out there. First down on the Green run. He kept it. Purnell ran him out, but a gain of 11.
That's the it factor. That's it right there. That's what he brings to the table that JT Daniels can't do. His ability to run around and make plays. Very athletic quarterback, but also has the capacity to run the ball and throw it. He's gaining more and more confidence. The more plays he plays, he's gaining that confidence he needs to be a starter.
Look at his first career start today. Came in relief of JT Daniels last week and ended up being Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Johnson kicks it back left, breaks a tackle to the 30-yard line. Another first down for the Mountaineers, who methodically have moved down inside the 30 to the 29 of K-State. First down.
Finally, this offensive line started to take control. You block down, pull around. We call this a stretch play. Get the big fella out on the widest man and just have your running back run right behind him. This is working for this team because it's starting to make this defensive line tired. They start to move around a little bit slower at this point, so that's when you know you're starting to catch the effects of fatigue up front on the defensive side of the ball.
Bryce Ford Wheaton singled up with Julius Brents at the top of the screen. Green gave a look in that direction, now pulls it down. He's going to run, tried to almost bounced off the initial hit by Gavin Forche, and then Daniel Green helped clean up the hit along with Usei Seumalo.
Green's a tough kid. He literally bounced off this play. He makes a decision to run, takes it. I mean, this is a great form tackle. Comes up to make a form tackle. He doesn't care. He's just trying to make a play.
Smith and Ford Wheaton, the receivers up top. Jeremiah Aaron at the bottom of the screen. Going to hand it off. First carry of the game for Jalen Anderson is a very good one inside the 10, down around the 5. They'll mark him down at the 6, caught there by TJ Smith and Nikendre Steiger. First and goal, Mountaineers. That's a 21-yard run for Jalen Anderson.
That offensive line is taking control of the game. 3 defensive linemen down there. They don't have enough. They're going to have to put another guy in there, in the box, a 4th guy in the box. They seem to stop run blitzing on this drive. I know it was helping them earlier on. I'm anxious to see what they do down here in the red zone.
We'll slip under the 8-minute mark of the second quarter. Green, keeper. But he's hit right at the line of scrimmage, pushed all the way back. The crowd wanted a late hit there on Daniel Green, who just kept going and going until he heard the whistle. And maybe even a
lead tackler. Somebody's going to go make a play. It's going to be Daniel Green. Great form tackle. That's 2 in a row.
I don't think the crowd liked that little extra tug at the end. So no gain, still 1st and goal. Still Jalen Anderson is the back. Fake the handoff, throw into the end zone. There he is again. Sam James, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game.
He has taken over the game. 3. Slant play. It's not fair. You got Josh Hayes, who's a safety, out there one-on-one on the most productive wide receiver we have right now. The Mountaineers have right now on the field.
Casey Leggs missed a couple extra points. Very uncharacteristic. His first 2 of the season. Going to go for 2 here. Try to make this a 1-score game and get it down to 8. After an 11-play drive, they ate up almost 90 yards. 3 receivers now at the bottom, including Smith, who's in the slot. Green wanting to run, and he's not going to get there. Not even close. I think he kind of gave up on throwing that ball a little bit early.
Green trusted on the outside. A little slant play to James.
Sam James has touchdown catches of 26, 71, and the most recent one a 5-yard touchdown catch. And he has doubled his touchdown total on the season from 3 when the day began now to 6. And we still have just under 7 minutes left to play in the first half.
You can tell that the Wildcats are making sure they put a lot of attention on Bryce Ford Wheaton, which is opening up. He's getting one-on-one situations. So Sam James is taking advantage of it. Anytime he's one-on-one with a safety, why not go to him?
Ball fell off the tee. Parker Grotehouse will have to reset it up. So 10-point game, and obviously the missed extra points are big in that the 2 missed extra points led to a 2-point conversion, which also failed. So they've left 4 points out there. This could very easily be a 1-score game.
And those are the little things we talk about.
And it's going to roll out of bounds. It's going to bring out the flag and start the series at the 35-yard line. Second time this year, Grotehouse
Number 37, kicking team.
has kicked it out of bounds.
Placed at the 35-yard line. Timeout on the field.
K-State will have the ball when we come back to Morgantown. 35-25, K-State leading West Virginia with 6:55 to play in the first half on this cold Saturday in Morgantown. Take a look at the quarterback comparison. Again, each starting today. Green's first career start, Howard his second start of the season, 12th career.
Both quarterbacks given the opportunity to be starters, and they're taking full advantage of it. We knew Howard was, because this is his 14th game that he started for the Kansas State Wildcats, and they trust him. But right now, Green is showing that, hey, you can trust me also. He's doing everything from running, even blocking, and throwing touchdown passes.
All right, after the kickoff went out of bounds, K-State starts at their own 35. Leading by 10 was 6:55 to play. First half out to Knowles. Malik will mark him out for a gain of about 8. Well, TCU with a field goal at the buzzer comes back to beat Baylor. Bad news for Baylor fans, but quite frankly, Barrett, it's good news for the conference in general, because if TCU had lost, that probably would have eliminated the Big 12's opportunity to get a team in the college football playoff.
They deserve to be in the college football playoff. You're going to get to games like this, it's any given Saturday, just like in the NFL.
Knowles on the jet sweep. Only needed about 2 yards for the first down, and they're going to mark him just a little bit short, where it's going to be third and about the length of the football.
This Mountaineer defense is starting to play at a high level, getting up the field, making plays. It's all about them guys up front. If they can continue to control the line of scrimmage when K-State has the ball, they have a definite opportunity to get them off a 3 and out.
Kansas State 2 of 2 on third down today. Deuce Vaughn with that second push will get just enough across the 45 and move the chains for Kansas State.
He's got that low center of gravity, man. He takes advantage of getting lower and driving them legs. He's got some tree trunk legs.
Ball spotted at 46.
There's Kleiman's team again with a win today and a Texas loss later at Kansas would put K-State in the Big 12 championship game in 2 weeks in the Metroplex against TCU. Warner in motion. Howard looking to throw. Is going to check down to Warner, who's going to be thrown down for a loss back at the 43-yard line by X-Relo.
You see the intensity that the defensive line is coming up with, which is allowing those linebackers to be unblocked and run around. Early in the first half, early in the first quarter, they were trying to move the line, but they weren't activating the linebackers. The linebackers would stay in one place. Well, now they're starting to read and react, play faster from their linebacker positions.
So that lost 3, second down and 13. Vaughn, Deuce. Forward progress to just across the 45. And then push back there. So it's going to be third and long. One of the rare third and longs for K-State today.
Yeah, this young man, Cox right here, he's definitely starting to play at a high level. Last week he started against Oklahoma and played very, very well, coming up making plays, showing he belongs out on the field. And they're giving him more and more time. And he's starting to go out and really make some plays.
Wildcats 3 of 3 on third down, but this is their longest of the day, 3rd and 11. Bring it 4. Howard throws, flag. Knowles makes the catch, enough for the first down at the West Virginia 40.
Malik Knowles playing big boy football. Came out his route, got held, still stayed with his route, came back.
Prior to the pass, holding number 28 defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is first down.
Indeed, it was a hold on spells.
Yeah, he almost knocked him down. He got past. Once you get hit the hip, you're leaving. He held him, but hey, Knowles shows it, comes back, makes himself available for Howard, goes up and makes a play.
Knowles was able to get a little push of his own there at the end to kind of get a little separation. First down Wildcats at the West Virginia 40 as we're under 4 minutes, so about 3.5 and counting left in this first half. Looked like a little flinch on the right guard, but no call there, and pass goes out to Brooks. He gets a block on the edge. Nice block there by R.J. Garcia in the game, and that's going to be close to a first down up to the 31, about a yard shy of that first down after the Brooks catch.
That's about knowing situational football. You can, as long as the receiver catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage, you can start blocking immediately. Great play by Garcia on the outside, blocking and freeing up Knowles on the play.
Second and short. Let's see what the Wildcats want to call. They look to the sideline. The option to Vaughn. Didn't get much, but didn't need much. Only needed one, and that's exactly what Deuce gets.
Ran a little speed option with Howard. Shows his versatility. I'm not just a drop back quarterback. I can move around a little bit, run the option a little bit.
All the West Virginia 30.
Probably look back and winked at Adrian Martinez on the play.
Adrian not playing today due to the right leg injury that occurred in the game at Baylor last Saturday. They're still saying they hope he can play next week. There's a question about that as well for the final regular season game of the season. Vaughn running on first down, nothing there. Might even lose a half yard or so.
Great play by Jordan Jefferson, standing the center up, shedding the block and makes a play.
Timeout, West Virginia. This is their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
West Virginia burns their first timeout with 2:01 to play here in the first half. No Adrian Nez for K-State today. Remember, there was the start he couldn't make against Oklahoma State, and about a half hour before the game, Will Howard found out he was going to start, and what did he do? He had a school record 4 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards, and was Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week.
Right.
So now he's getting his second start of the season. 10-point lead. They added a few seconds to the clock during the break, so 2:04 left. Howard fires wide open. Phillip Brooks with the defense able to swarm him after just about a 2-yard gain. Exree Lowe and Lee Koba, 2 of the host of West Virginia tacklers there.
Still slanting that offensive, the defensive line, allowing those linebackers to run free.
West Virginia is their second of the half.
Well, you can obviously tell with West Virginia using their second of their 3 timeouts now, they want to stop. They want to get the ball back and make this a 1-score game by halftime.
Well, yeah, they probably will have.
Under 2 minutes to play. Let's step aside in Morgantown. We're 3rd and 8 coming up when we come back for the Wildcats. It's a play in the half. The 11th play of this drive coming up here. K-State has converted all 4 of their 3rd downs, including a 3rd and 11 earlier on this drive, which has eaten up almost 5 minutes so far. But this, a 3rd down and 8. Four-man rush. Howard throws just in the direction and coming back for the football, incomplete. That was Phillip Brooks out of the hand. Barrett, I didn't think there was any way that ball was going to be completed, but they almost completed that pass.
Unbelievable. You know, he's able to turn around, come back, and retrace his steps to almost make that catch. I'm surprised Howard's even able to throw that ball. The pressure that he had coming from the outside on the ET slant.
46-yard attempt off the left hash here for Ty Zentner, whose long this year is 31. That is up. It has the distance, and it's good. So the Wildcats do produce points and go back up 13 with 1:46 to play in the half, 38-25. And there's his longest field goal of the season for Ty Zentner. So they're going to have 1 timeout left. West Virginia, 1:46 to work with when Garrett Green and the offense come back out here after the kick. 12-play drive for K-State. They need some points here.
Garrett, he can definitely do it. Garrett Green has a lot of confidence in his arm. He also has a lot of confidence in his wide receivers. So, I mean, he'll throw the ball. Don't get him mistaken. He'll throw the ball. Especially Sam James, who has 3 touchdowns so far. He still hasn't used Bryce Ford Wheaton. And this touchdown here to Sam James, where he just beats the safety over the top, both safeties over the top, is incredible.
Green 7 of 10 through the air, 133 yards. The 3 touchdown passes, all to Sam James. Green is a rusher, 6 rushes, 22 yards. So he's averaging about 4 yards a rush. As long as an 11-yard rush. So after K-State's 12-play, 37-yard drive, ate up 5:09. 46-yard field goal for Zintner, and that's going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
Offensive coordinator Grant Harrell, he's not going to pull any punches. He's going down to score. He's going to put this ball in the air. He has some really good wide receivers on the outside. Why not give his guys a shot? Go up and get it. We haven't heard a lot from, the other weapons they have at the wide receiver position.
The first drive of the game was a pick 6.
First and 10 of the Mountaineers.
Sincere Mason, 37-yard pick 6. West Virginia has a pick 6 of their own. Still Ruffin. First play of this drive was a pass out to Reese Smith, and Reese only going to get about a yard or so out of that. Jalea Duke, strong side linebacker, with the tackle. Did get out of bounds to stop the clock.
Looks like Kansas State defense playing a little matchup zone.
James is
cover 4.
Got to keep an eye on Sam James. He's in the slot up top. Green looking in his direction. He's going to step up and he's going to run right into that rush, and he's not able to get away from that last hand of Brendan Mott, number 38.
Fantastic.
Will get the sack.
That's just an effort play right there. Just effort. Just won't stop.
Timeout, Kansas State. This is their first of the half. It's a 30-second timeout. Game clock operator, please put 1:32 on the clock.
4th sack of the season for Brendan Mott. That sack, a loss of 7, forces the Mountaineers to burn their final timeout of the half. With 1:32 to go, and now the ball's back inside their own 20. And heck, now if you're K-State, you're starting to think here,
I might be able to score.
Well, yeah, we got plenty of time and a couple of timeouts of their own before this half comes to an end.
And we know West Virginia loves to go for it on 4th down.
Well, they did so from their own 35 earlier in the game. That didn't work out very well. They turned it over on downs. They have not converted on 3rd down today. They are 0 for 3. 1 for 2 on 4th down today so far for the Mountaineers. The line to gain is the 35. They're at the 19. Green pulls it back down, now wants to run, and he's not going to go far, just up to the 22. And I think we're going to finally see our first punt of the game.
And that's what we talk about with
Timeout, Kansas State. This is their second of the half. This is the 30-second timeout.
And that's what you get with Garrett Green. He's not going to finish plays sometimes when he feels just a little bit of pressure. He wants to run. Sometimes you got to trust your arm, push the ball down the field. This is not what you really want from this type of situation. You want to get the ball out of your hand and get it to your weapons on the outside. He didn't give his weapons a chance to even get down the field. He's got to have a little better pocket awareness inside the pocket and try to get the ball down the field instead of running.
K-State uses a timeout. They're going to have 1 left. Oliver Straw, the Aussie from Melbourne, comes out. He's the Big 12 Special Teams Co-Player of the Week this week. Second time he's won that award. Sharing it with Texas Tech place kicker Trey Wolf last week. This will be the first punt of the day for either side. End over end punt. Fair catch backing up. Brooks lost the handle but then jumped right back on top of it at the 35. That almost turned catastrophic for K-State. 43-yard punt with no return.
Yeah, Mark, they got plenty of time. 1:20 left. You got a guy in Will Howard, strong arm, very capable receivers. You can go to on the outside. Malik Knowles, Phillip Brooks. They have some guys that pick it up and put it down and force and press the issue on the outside.
Four receivers, two to each side with Deuce in the backfield. It's Howard throwing on first down, throws across the middle. Brooks breaks a tackle, but then Lee Coben gets back up after missing the first tackle, comes up, it does make it. It is a 7-yard gain though. He slipped under a minute to play in this first half. Howard, plenty of time to throw. Sent it. What a catch inside the 30. And now K-State knocking on the door of the red zone. Will have a first down just outside the 25. At the 25.
You just knew Howard was going to set it on that play. I just sat there and watched on the seams. Watch him run down the seams, and he just trusts going to him. Even with the double coverage there, he just put it right where it needed to go.
Spotted it at the 27. Here's a throw a little off target, intended for Deuce. Sennett now 3 catches, 85 yards, 1 touchdown.
Second down.
Let's take a look at that last catch by Sennett.
Yeah, you look at Will Howard. He sees his tight end working the seam, comes across the field. Sits right in that zone.
A 31-yard gain.
Linebacker didn't get deep enough. The safety didn't come down fast enough. And Sennett makes the play.
Second down and 10 for the Cats from the 27. And here's Howard running right. He's just going to slide down and say, yeah, I got 3 defenders that are going to chase me here, and I got to cut my losses.
Will Howard on the keeper.
You got to know when to say when.
Timeout. Kansas State. This is their final timeout.
K-State's going to burn their final timeout. They have 3 rushing touchdowns today from 3 different players, Howard, Vaughn, and Giddens.
Yeah, here just, Giddens just picks him up, puts him down, beats the linebacker over the top. Then Howard just muscles his way in. That 6'5" frame goes for the touchdown. And here, here he goes again. DJ Giddens.
Yeah, Deuce had the first one, then Howard, and there's Giddens. That touchdown run. So 3rd and 11. They're kind of in that area, Barrett, where normally you may go for it on 4th down, but at the end of a half, you're thinking, heck, let's wind the clock down and just attempt a field goal at the end of the half, depending on where what they do on this 3rd and 11 play here. Three-man rush. Howard stepped right into. Now that's not going to help your opportunity to kick a field goal. They sack him back at the 35-yard line. Jordan Jefferson's 3rd sack of the season.
Jordan Jefferson.
But they are going to try a long field goal again because it's the end of the half.
Yes.
They don't have any timeouts. Clock is running. This is a 53-yard attempt. So West Virginia does have a timeout left.
Timeout. West Virginia. It's their final of the half.
And they just burned it. So they stopped the clock with 8 seconds left.
They're lucky they did because he just made that field goal just practicing.
You got the freebie try.
Yeah. This has been an all-offensive game. You would think with the 2 picks, you would think it's defense, but I tell you what, I see 2 offenses that are almost to the point now that they, these backup quarterbacks can be starters just about anywhere else in the conference. These guys are pretty good.
K-State, as far as field goals, their longest field goal of the season coming into this game was 37 yards from Chris Tennant against Mizzou in week 2. They had not even attempted a field goal of more than 44 yards on the season. They've hit from 46, Zentner did earlier in the second quarter, and now here's a 53-yard attempt to finish up this drive, and got it through just inside the left upright. And with 1 second left in the first half, K-State increases the lead to 41-25 on Zentner's 53-yard field goal, the second field goal of the game.
You know what this is? He's a cold weather kicker.
Yes. A
cold weather kicker. There we go. Coach Klein was like, where did this come from?
So it's still technically a 2-possession game, a 16-point lead, but K-State able to get points thanks to a couple of long field goals. Their last 2 scores have each been long field goals from Zentner, 46 yards, and now this one from 53.
They have still yet to punt. Kansas State.
They have not. We've only seen 1 punt. And that came from West Virginia's Oliver Straw not too long ago, pretty late here in this first half. So a squib is down by James, and that's going to end the half. James kind of saying, well, I guess I could have run that, but didn't have anything to lose.
But why get hit, man? Why get hit?
And that's the end of the first half. What a half for the K-State offense. West Virginia certainly had its moments too offensively, Barrett.
Absolutely.
A lot of points in the first half, 41-25. K-State on top. As again, K-State 41 points, most in a half under Chris Kleinman here in his 4 seasons. And Coach Kleinman's down on the field with Tori.
Thanks, Mark. Coach, hot start really for your offense after that pick-6 high-scoring game, and you've really spread the ball around. What have you liked about what your offense has been able to do?
Yeah, Will's really in control and playing at a high level. We're doing some really good things on offense. We got to find some ways to get some stops. I know that's a talented offense, and we didn't play our best half on defense.
What do you want to see from your defense in the second half?
Well, we tackle a little bit better. That'd be the best thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Tori, thanks. It comes down to the simple things in this game sometimes. You got to tackle on defense. That a lot of points in half number 1 in Morgantown. We'll have more from here at Mountaineer Field after this short timeout. Wow, points in the first half. 41-25, K-State leading. We had about 550 total combined yards. Each team had a pick-6. We had 1 punt in the first half. That was from Straw of West Virginia. I don't think we even envisioned of seeing that kind of high-scoring first half.
Absolutely not. You know, both offenses seem to be clicking, running with the backup quarterbacks, and that's the big thing. These are 2 backup quarterbacks have shown the capacity to run this team like they're the starters. So it's great football being played, but the defense, I could say, is a little more lacking right now.
Yeah, each defense can hang their hat on the 1 pick-6 that they each have, but other than that, kind of a tough half for the defense. Deuce Vaughn got it going with a 15-yard touchdown run. Really, West Virginia was down 14-0 in a blink of an eye due to a pick-6. This one right here, Sincere Mason. You're just over 2 minutes into the game, Barrett, and West Virginia's down 2 scores.
Absolutely. You know, score a touchdown to turn around. Then you got Howard. He throws a pick. And, you know, defenses look good for a minute.
Yeah, Malachi Ruffin, a 41-yard pick-6. And then Casey Legg, who'd been so reliable, had the game-winning kick last week against OU, missed not 1 but 2 extra points.
You know, this is out of character for him, you know. But then you turn back around and James just looks really good. I mean, you know, he's out running safeties. They're trying to one-on-one cover him. He's just not letting that happen. He scored 3 touchdowns thus far.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns on the season coming in, and he counted them 3 touchdowns in the first half of this game alone. And take a look at the first half numbers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there any defense being played?
Wow is right. And we know when each team's turnover happened because they were each pick-6s.
Right.
Holy moly. What are we going to get in half number 2? We know West Virginia's going to get the ball to start the second half. And it is technically still a 2-score game, a 16-point lead for West Virginia. Or I should say for K-State over West Virginia. And West Virginia going to get the ball to start the half.
Both defenses need to really play good, you know, and as they go forward. 2 really good offensive lines have shown the capacity to move both those defensive lines at will.
Zentner to kick off. Fair caught in the end zone by James. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. Just a few moments ago, Tori was able to catch up with Coach Brown. What was on his mind?
Thanks, Mark. Coach, a high-scoring game on both sides. What does your defense need to do to stop this offense in the second half?
Well, we just got to get some stops. When they throw it to us, we got to catch it. We did that one time. We got to do it more consistently. We got to win on first down. That's where they take advantage of us.
Your offense, Sam James has really been the highlight there. What do you want this offense to be able to do in the second half to keep that going?
Well, we've had to punt one time. We just got to take advantage of what they're giving us. You know, the only time we've stopped is when we've gotten on our own way. So we've got to continue. We get the ball first. This first possession is going to be big.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Coach Proud telling us himself what was on his mind for half number one. And Johnson with a little bit of a loss there. He's going to lose a yard on the first carry here of the second half. You see what James did in the first half compared to the rest of the Mountaineers. It basically was the Sam James show on offense.
100 yards in one half, 3 touchdowns. That's game stats he's had for an entire season. He's done it thus far in one game.
Yeah, Justin Johnson in the backfield for the Mountaineers. Garrett Green throws, and that's Jeremiah Aaron with his first catch of the game. It's a little move, and he's going to get the first down. He gets to the 35-yard line. Echo Boydo brought him down, but not before they move the sticks and get a first down.
Keep the sticks moving.
Ball at the 35.
We've seen that, you know, Garrett Green is very confident in his arm, and he can get the ball out there. It's just him being able to make good on his throws. You know, that's the problem. He hasn't been good on his throws at all times.
Going to give it to Johnson for the carry here. He gets about 4 first down to the 39. Daniel Green and VJ Payne helping out on the stop. Payne's a true freshman. With the loss of Kobe Savage to the season-ending knee injury last week, the shuffle includes Payne getting more playing time here today.
Yeah, at that safety position, linebacker-esque type of position, you got to be able to play. And, you know, he's being thrusted in as a young guy, understanding, you know, what the defense and how conceptually you're supposed to do things, you know, a lot of growing up to do.
3-man rush, Green throws, that's complete. Cortez Braham, his second catch of the game, and another first down for the Mountaineers up to the 47. Echo Boydo on the coverage of Braham.
Here you are, Green, take advantage of the soft coverage on the outside.
Ball spotted at the 47.
Able to get the ball in on these little slant plays, make these receivers making themselves available on the onset, beating the defender.
And James in the backfield along with Johnson. It's Johnson with the carry, uses a stiff arm, and there is a flag after the tackle by VJ Payne. The run was a gain of about 4. Let's see about the call.
Holding, number 54, offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And that's a penalty on the center, Zach Frazier,
who's actually their best offensive lineman. In fact, the coaches commented on him being the best player probably on the team. Gets up to the second level. He cuts him off right there, but then just let him go. He wanted to finish the ball. And see, that's kind of ticky-tack right there. I think that they both were holding each other.
It's the combo hold, was it?
Yeah. Both players trying to set the tone. You're not going to flat back. No, you're not going to flat back me.
Cats defense 4-man front that time. They bring 4. Flag down in the backfield. And the run for Green up near midfield. Tackled by Austin Moore. Let's see about that flag.
Flags everywhere.
Illegal shift, number 26 and 13, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
And James and Johnson moving at the same time.
You can't do that, right?
Nope. Just one at a time. Yeah. Somebody wasn't supposed to be moving. James was the one who noticed that Johnson had started to move and tried to stop, but too late by then. And it's been kind of those little things that wind up being big things for West Virginia, those kind of mistakes.
Absolutely, especially towards the end of games.
And another flag to compound the situation.
False start, number 13, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And now Sam James called for the false start. And They were about to cross midfield a few moments ago. Now they're back at their own 31. Yeah,
these pre-snap penalties, you know, you can't afford to have penalties at all. But then, you know, these are things that you can control yourself.
He fires out into the flat, and there's Bryce Ford Wheaton with the catch. He has been quiet today. That's just his second grab of the day, tackled by Julius Brents.
He's been very quiet. But they are playing a little man-on-man on the outside. This is when you want your big-name players to go.
Green, lots of time, a three-man rush. Going to check it down to the back. Johnson out of the backfield. He's going to get it up near what was the original line of scrimmage before the back-to-back penalties at the 48-47-yard line.
3rd and 11. 47.
Playing fast right now.
It's 3rd down and 11. Center Judge holding them up. Now they're ready to snap. Wildcats looking like they're bringing an extra guy or two. Now they back off. And the gate is just outside the 42 of K-State. Green drops back. He fires, and that's Braham again. A first down catch. Cortez Braham, second catch on this drive, 3rd catch of the day, and they convert on 3rd and 11.
Driven out of bounds by T.J. Smith.
Eku Boyo was right there to make the play. Looked like he was going to be able to catch it, intercept it. Goes through his hands. Sometimes you need a little luck. Great throw and catch. Cortez Braham. Converted to 3rd down. That was a great play.
Yeah, convert on 3rd and 11. He got 18 yards out of it. New first down at the K-State 35-yard line. He fakes the handoff to Johnson, and he hit. Oh, knocked away. That was Jacob Parrish to break it up. As he had James open, it appeared. But
he absolutely did. They ran a bunch formation, and that thing, and the way it evened out, he was wide open on the play. It's just they made a play on the outside. Jacob Parrish.
Parrish, who's a true freshman in the Kansas City area, Olathe, Kansas, Olathe North High School. Getting them a little more playing time, more of that domino effect with the loss of Kobe Savage in that secondary. There's a handoff to Johnson. He'll tumble forward about the 28-yard line. Brendan Mott and T.J. Smith combine on the tackle.
They like this little bunch formation. Bunch formation being 3 receivers in a bunch on the right-hand side, and they've run out of it and throw out of it and had some success at it.
3rd and 2 after that pickup of 8. 3 receivers up top, Braham, Ford Wheaton, and James. It's Traylon Davis, tight end motions to the left side of the formation. It's a give and a carry for Jalen Anderson. And a first down inside the 25 to the 23. You know, it looked like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the penalties, Barrett, but they've kept this drive alive.
Yeah, that's just straight physical football up front. They ran it for the first down this time.
11th play of this drive coming up here for the Mountaineers. Again, the 3 receivers up top. But again, it's going to be Anderson who runs it. He got a decent head of steam. Was he down? Yeah, he kind of rolled over the pile, but they say a knee was down. Just inside the 20, 4-yard gain. Stopped by V.J. Payne.
Stretch play to the outside. You block the tight end down, pull the guard or the tackle on the outside, have him kick out block there, and just pick a hole as the running back goes through it. Nice little gain of 5 on first down. Now you're 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6.
Long look to the sideline. They're keeping those 3 receivers, Braham, Ford Wheaton, James up top. Actually, Polinde on the right side of the formation at tight end. And off, and Anderson again. Will only be about a yard short of the first down.
Smash mouth football right here. Smash mouth football. 3 receivers to the left. Make sure they allocate coverage out there. 3 good wide receivers.
Illegal formation. Offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, well, there's the penalties rearing their ugly head again with the illegal formation. I'll have to take a look back. Maybe they didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Mark, we talk about this the entirety of this game. They just are making bad mistakes, which are keeping them from being able to compete at an elite level.
I think there's a question the way the line up at the end of the, yeah. Going towards the end zone for James, and he got tangled up a little bit. No flag. That was Josh Hayes with the coverage. James complaining.
Both players chicken fighting for it.
Josh Hayes.
It looked to me like it was a little jockeying position, but since he turned around and looked for the ball, I think that's why they didn't call it. He tried to figure out where the ball was. He did keep his hand there just to, keep a relationship with the wide receiver.
The crowd watching the replay on the big board, they have a different opinion than what was called on the field, as
right.
you would imagine. They're showing their displeasure. 3rd and long again, another 3rd and 11. They converted on that 3 plays ago, and we get a whistle pre-snap, and there's going to be a flag, and a personal foul is going to give him a first down. Oh, Jaquay Hubbard retaliated, and now multiple flags, and now this may be offsetting. West Virginia had a personal foul that was going to be called against K-State, and then Hubbard came up and retaliated, and they may not get what they had hoped for.
You got to keep your head.
Wow, it got chippy in a hurry.
Yes, it did. You got 2 teams competing. You're going to have that sometimes, but you got to have your head. You can't allow this to happen. First off, Felix, let you say his last name, evidently did not hear the whistle being called. So because he didn't hear the whistle, he ran the play like he was, going to make a play.
Yeah, and Uduke Uzama on green, and that brought out the initial flags. But then Jaquay Hubbard, the right tackle, retaliated, and then more flags came out. I think there's a good chance we're going to have offsetting.
2 fouls on the play. Delay of game, number 6, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 91 of the defense. That penalty's half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down.
West Virginia just caught a huge break right there.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because it should have been 2 unsportsmanlike penalties on both sides.
And that's what Chris Kleiman is saying. That this should have been
look at the sequence of events. Felix doesn't hear that the whistle's blown. He doesn't know that the whistle's blown. So he finishes the play. Green goes up and walks behind him.
Then that was Khalid Duke.
And then you got Hubbard retaliating because that's his quarterback. And as offensive lineman, you're going to do that.
But the end result, beneficial for West Virginia when they were going to get a delay of game. So now they have a first down at the 15-yard line of K-State. Been 6 penalties on this drive alone, this first drive of the second half. Green looked right, now looks left, and he just kind of slings at the feet of Ford Wheaton.
That was a great play on the outside by Julius Brents. He read the screen, the tunnel screen. They had it set up pretty good. The offensive line gets out there to block the 3 defenders out there. Now you got 2 big heavies out there trying to block, but then you look at Wheaton. Bryce Ford Wheaton, he couldn't get loose because the defense that the defender played on the outside. He played the play.
Yeah, Ford Wheaton and Julius Brents have been manned up most of the day. Julius Brents definitely had a hand on the jersey, clutch of the jersey.
Yeah, he did.
Which is what Ford Wheaton was complaining about at the end of the play. Here's a run from Justin Johnson.
Handoff to Justin Johnson.
We haven't seen much of Tony Mathis in this game. He only had 3 carries early in the first half for 9 yards. It's been Johnson and Anderson since. Khalid Duke with the tackle there to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
This has been a money down. They've had some success on 3rd down this entire drive.
And they've converted 3rd and 10 a couple of times on the drive.
K-State has to allocate defenders inside the box because they've run the ball so successfully. So outside is one-on-one on the outside.
Green being chased and tried to get rid of it. That's going to be an incomplete pass as Brendan Mott thought he had the sack, and somehow Green
Brendan Mott has had
avoid the loss.
Great game thus far. He has beaten the offensive line on countless occasions, getting up the field, almost untouchable, rushing from that defensive end position.
Well, they're going to give Casey Legg an opportunity here on the field goal. This would be about a 32-yard attempt from just inside the right hash. He's missed 2 extra points today. First 2 of the year he's missed after hitting the first 34 he's attempted on the year.
He's having a bad day right now. But coach is trusting him to go out there and make a 35-yard kick?
Looking at 32.
The ruling on the previous play was an incomplete pass. Replay has reviewed that, and it's determined that the quarterback's knee was down prior to throwing the ball. It will be 4th down to the 26-yard line.
Well, now that's going to be a longer field goal. The replay official, Mark Mersden, taking an additional look at that, and it is a sack now.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Mark. I don't know if I would take my offense off the field. I mean, with the whole situation going on, I don't know if I would have. Well, they've shown the ability. Yes, it was a sack.
And now it's a 44-yard attempt for Legg. It's low, and it's not even going to make it.
I would not even try it. I would have kept my offense out there. They have more capacity to make a play on the offensive side of the ball as opposed to kicking it.
Didn't even come close to get to the crossbar. West Virginia comes up empty on their first possession of the second half. TCU kicks a field goal at the end of regulation to win it over Baylor. So TCU now 11-0. For one of the few times you got K-State fans rooting for Kansas this weekend.
Picture that, right?
Because if K-State wins and Texas loses, K-State's in the Big 12 title game. But Texas up 17-0, still early, like 12.5 minutes left until halftime in Lawrence. Texas wins that game. K-State still controls their own destiny. They need a win today, and they'd have to beat Kansas next week in the Sunflower Showdown. There's the first play of the second half for the K-State offense after an 8.5-minute drive for West Virginia to start the second half. Came up empty after Cade Warner gets the catch there.
Well, you know, that defense, the defense of Kansas State were out there a long time, you know, and the war of attrition, we talked about that earlier.
Deuce Vaughn patiently waiting, and will work a little something. It would look like nothing. Koba stops him, but it's enough for a first down to pick up 2.
First down, Kansas State.
There's their drives in half number 1. The INT in the second drive was the pick 6. This Ruffin. On again, trying to fight his way forward. Does so to make some positive yardage. Gains about 3, which is here Cox and Sean Martin on top of him.
To be somebody that's 5'6" and 5'6", and his ability, you know, at 180 to stop, start, and never get negative yards is incredible. He rarely gets a negative yardage play. He's always going forward.
He's going to motion out of the backfield. Going to hand off to DJ Giddens. DJ is going to be dropped for about a yard loss.
I'm surprised they don't run that more. 21 personnel, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. You got Deuce Vaughn, DJ Giddens. Both guys can run the rock pretty effectively. That would be my choice as far as having an offense that, you know, personnel package that it would really put those defenses in a bad state because you don't know what they're going to do.
Giddens comes off the field, so back to 1 back, 1 tight end. It's Sinnott, but he's lined up wide, bottom of the screen. 3rd down and long. Howard being chased, throws, and he finds Warner just short of the sticks. He leans forward, and where he came down out of bounds is going to be a yard or 2 short of the first down.
Are we going to see K-State's punter?
We have yet to see Zentner punt. And he is going to come on a punt for the first time today. Right now he's handling all the jobs as far as kickoffs, place kicking, and punting.
You rarely see that these days, Mark. You rarely see it.
Preston Fox back inside his own 10 to receive Zintner's first punt of the day. And it's a high spiraling punt, a good punt. It's going to land at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. So West Virginia will have the ball for a second time after what was a 56-yard punt for Zintner. It's coming out to the 20. Each team has possessed the ball once so far in the second half. No scoring, though, after a first half filled with points. But on that first drive of this half for West Virginia, it looked like Garrett Green took a couple of hits. And Tori kind of nursing a little something now.
Yeah, he was getting worked on by trainers on the sideline on his lower back. Didn't look like anything too serious, but then he went to throwing, just warming up a little bit before this drive started. Doesn't look like he's coming out of this game by any means. Just something to keep an eye on, and certainly the tenseness could have something to do with the weather down here on the sideline.
Taking some big hits. It's about 30 degrees, windy, a little chilly, no question. Have not seen JT Daniels warming up at all. We were asking about Tony Mathis. He is now back in the game for the first time since earlier. Actually, that's Mathis getting the carry right there, and he's run down by Austin Moore.
Austin Moore, great penetration, reading his keys, see ball flow away, fills his gap, and goes to make a play.
Tackle for loss, a loss of 5. They call Austin Moore the Machine. I think he likes that nickname. Guy who was awarded a scholarship this year originally came as a walk-on.
You love them stories, you know, a guy that's coming and does it the hard way. He just earns it.
They lost 5 on first down, backed up now to their own 15. James in motion. He's picked up 3 touchdowns today. He's open in the soft part of that zone. He was momentarily. Green now on the run to the right. He's going to take a hit as he throws, and looking for Braham, who does make the catch around the 26-yard line. Cortez Braham kind of quietly having a good day receiving here. There's a flag now.
Ineligible player downfield, number 50, offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
This is tough for an offensive lineman because, you know, you get the quarterback scrambling out of the pocket. There's a chance that he might run. You want to go pick up a defender, and you find yourself going down the field just trying to make a play.
Yeah, that was Brandon Yates. You saw him there as Green just kept stringing it out. And
but see, that shows a little maturity in Green, because he's now looking to throw the ball down the field as opposed to just run it every single time.
But this drive going backwards right now started at the 20. They've lost 10. It's 2nd and 20 from the 10. 4-man rush with a stunt. There's Green throwing, deflected, incomplete. And I'll tell you what, Bryce Ford and Julius Brents have had a bunch of one-on-one battles.
Absolutely. Well, this is a great drive that they run X stunts on the bottom and below. The ball gets tipped. Because it gets tipped, that's not a pass interference call.
And this is a 3rd and 20 now for West Virginia.
With Green's ability to run around, you know, this is not far from him to make this happen. He's done it on 3rd down a lot today.
K-State back to that base 3-man rush, and Green in some trouble, and he is going to be brought down. Brought down at the 6. Brendan Mott, number 38,
he keeps showing up.
Day. He does. This is a loss of 4.
He keeps showing up. Never gives up. Going, keeps going, keeps going. That's what you want from a defensive end. The ability not to stop. Kids keep going. Constant pressure, not just on the offensive lineman, but then getting around the quarterback while he's doing it.
Well, that drive just never got going for West Virginia. It just kept going backwards.
That's the problem that this team has been experienced thus far. Too many opportunities to make some things happen.
Straw punting out of his own end zone, got some room. The ball's going to bounce at the 45. It'll be down at the 44-yard line. So very good starting field position for K-State in West Virginia territory when we come back.
I tell you what, Garrett Green's a tough little guy, man. I mean, he's only 5'11", 200 pounds, but he's taking some punishment today. They have been teeing off on him, especially in the second half, and really putting it on his body. He's going to get a nice, long ice bath tonight because he is really being put in, up against it, hitting with these big defensive linemen and getting out of trouble using his feet.
An ice bath does not sound attractive in any way, shape, or form right now to me. It's been a cold Saturday. After a 38-yard punt, great starting field position for K-State. They give it to Deuce Vaughn on the first carry, and he rambles forward inside the 40 to the 39. He gains about 5 on first down before he's pulled down by Lee Copeland.
I'll tell you what, Mark, this might be the Deuce Vaughn show from this point on. Just give it to your best player. Give it to this workhorse. Like I said, he's small in stature. He's short in stature, but he is not small by any means. He is strong. His leg, he keeps his feet going. He's always going positive, going forward at all times.
Howard in a crowd. He's throwing towards the end zone, and at the 6, a sliding attempt for R.J. Garcia, but it's incomplete as Malachi Ruffin had the coverage on him.
Now Howard's starting to get up a little slower. They're starting to get to him a little bit. The pass rush from the middle of the field, putting pressure on him.
A little short with that last throw as Garcia tried to come back to it.
Yeah, he couldn't step through on the pass play because there were people at his feet pushing him away.
Under a minute to play, third quarter. Howard again just dumps it off. Wheeler, the tight end, Sammy Wheeler, will have a first down inside the 30. Knocked down by Jasir Cox. Gain of 12.
Wheeler's shown the ability to also get out and make some plays. When they do run 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, he has shown the ability to get out there and make some plays. Look, he just sits down, makes himself available to the quarterback, turns around, makes the play, positive yardage, shows a little speed also.
Second catch of the day for Wheeler for 33 yards. First down at the 27.
Now K-State stopping and running a little clock off.
Keep it on the ground this time for Deuce Vaughn. He's advanced near the 20. They'll be about 3 yards short of the first down, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. K-State doesn't have to snap it here. Well, after a load of points in the first half, we get no scoring in the third quarter. And yes, we are headed to the fourth.
West Virginia 25.
Into 3 quarters in Morgantown. 15th ranked Kansas State has a 41-25 lead over the Mountaineers. See the college football playoff rankings. TCU, it's a Griffin Kell 40-yard field goal at the end of regulation to win 29-28. So most likely keep their CFP hopes alive for making the college football playoff. Ohio State up 1 on Maryland 7-6. That's still early, about 11 minutes left. As we start the fourth quarter in Morgantown, K-State on the move, and here's Deuce Vaughn. The carry for a gain of about 1 yard, ramped up by Mike Lockhart.
Look how he negotiates in the interior of that defensive line. He just, you don't know where he is. Next thing you know, he's up on you and he's squirting through. People try to compare him to Sproles. I think he's his own different monster. He's good at what he does. He's not like Sproles. Sproles is a little more, of elusive type of guy. He did everything well.
Yes, he did. Here's Vaughn again, needing a couple yards for a first down and doesn't get him there. This play by Exree Lowe and also Marcus Floyd.
Marcus Floyd, the tackle.
Yeah, get a little movement, but they start to move around a little bit, and those linebackers are on another level. Once you sled the defensive line, it's hard for you to get up on the linebackers then because you have to take the defensive lineman out of the gap.
16-point lead, so any kind of points here makes it a 3-score game. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 2, just inside the West Virginia 20. They had Vaughn out wide right. Howard looked like he wanted to run, and now he's going to throw to the end zone for Sinnen and overshot him, and K-State's going to turn it over on downs.
Yeah, got a little overzealous on the pass play. I mean, they're up by 2 scores. Well, they have to come back and get 2 scores for, to come back. But I don't know if I might have kicked the field goal on this one.
Yeah, especially because they've gotten good results from Zentner, who's hit from 46 and 53, but they failed to convert on 4th and short there. West Virginia ball when we come back. This 4th day for K-State.
Well, you look at it, I think, at this point, Deuce Vaughn is supposed to be in motion, because if you watch the quarterback, Howard, he keeps trying to get him in motion. He's trying to get him to motion. He's trying to get him to go. Once he goes in motion, he looks. The defense plays it just right, because he's supposed to have those 2 defenders, Knowles and both Knowles are supposed to block those 2 defenders, but they didn't go right. Overthrows, send it on the play. Try to make something out of nothing, but hey, at this point they're up 2 scores, so I think they'll be okay.
West Virginia takes over from their own 19-yard line. Here comes the rush. The pass from Green is too high and picked off at the 41-yard line by Julius Brents. Well, he and Ford Wheaton, that matchup all day, and that time Green overthrows him. And the 2nd pick of the day for the K-State defense.
Interception by Kansas State, first down.
You know what? This might come with the back of Green on the play. Garrett Green, war of attrition started taking hold. He overthrows him, probably because he can't push the ball really with his back. He didn't step through on the play, tried to use just his arm. You got to go through the proper mechanics, but when you're injured or you feel something from previous play, sometimes you can't go through those mechanics.
Well, Reese Smith is who he was matched up on that particular play, but it's been him and Ford Wheaton most of the game. And we talked with Joe Klanderman, the defensive coordinator for K-State, a few days ago. He said Julius Brents is kind of our ace up our sleeve. He's been that today.
He's done everything for him. They got a lot of confidence in him.
Howard for Brooks, batted away at the last moment by Aubrey Burks.
That was a great play by Burks. What really helped him out on the play, he turned around and tried to locate the ball. When he located it, he was able to make a play with it. Step for step with Brooks on this play. I know it looks like it's a little too much contact, but it's just a great defensive play. He's going for the ball. He's not really worried about where Brooks is. That's how you play defense in the secondary.
Yeah. Once you're the defender and you're turning and looking at the ball, you got just as big a right as the receiver does to catch a football. Handoff Vaughn trying to stretch it out left, and he ain't going to get to the corner there to turn it upfield, and he's going to be tackled for a loss.
Sideline, sideline. Defense running well. Watch these linebackers. Over the top, speed getting to the outside, comes up to make a play. I tell you what, this defense can play at a high level. They just make too many mistakes as far as jumping off sides. Small stuff that keep them away from being a big-time team.
There's a big 3rd and 13 if you're West Virginia trying to get the ball back after the pick. It's Howard with time in the pocket and near the sticks, and now there's Knowles, breaks a tackle down the sideline, trying to get to the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown. Malik Knowles.
That's trusting, knowing that Knowles is going to come back. Howard knew that Knowles was going to come back to get the ball. And that's where it all starts, the trust that if he throws the ball, he's going to come back on his back shoulder throw. He came all the way back to get the ball. Once he gets back, then he turns it up the field, and then he just lets speed. That's a linebacker. Of course, the receiver is supposed to be the linebacker to the goal line.
2nd TD catch of the year for Knowles. Zentner's on for the point after as K-State, with just under 12.5 minutes to play in this 4th quarter now, has made this a 3-score game. Will Howard, who's playing in front of a bunch of friends and family that made about a 4.5-hour drive from the Philly area, having a pretty good day.
Oh, great day. I mean, he's done so much, from progressing from last year into this year. I spoken to a couple family members, and he went to a quarterback camp. And in this quarterback camp, they did, he worked with some really, really prominent guys, like Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, all these guys working out together.
So Howard having a little fun with Malik Knowles over there after the 43-yard touchdown catch and run, and it's 48-25 Wildcat. Well, when West Virginia lost a couple of weekends ago in Ames to Iowa State, they knew they had to win out to become bowl eligible. They kept it alive with a win over Oklahoma here last week, 23-20. But a loss here would mean no shot to make bowl eligibility with their final game at Oklahoma State at noon Eastern time next Saturday on ESPN2.
And one thing you know about this team, they'll go out and gut it out. They'll go ahead and fight it out, you know. But if they can just cut down on the simple mistakes, you know, this could be a really good team.
Of course, K-State, if they're able to hang on and win this game, they would need a Texas loss either today, and they're up big on Kansas right now, or next week, or a win over Kansas next week for K-State. Tori has more down below.
Yeah, Mark, you guys mentioned it. Joe Klannerman called Julius Brents the ace up their sleeve for this West Virginia offense, particularly Bryce Ford-Wheaton. I think that's probably why we haven't seen much from Bryce Ford-Wheaton today, because of Julius Brents. Even Neil Brown told us that was going to be a key matchup in this game. Brents seems to be winning it. Maybe why we've seen more production from Sam James on the other side. But, you know, this last week, Brents got the invite to the Senior Bowl. That's a really big deal for his family. Klannerman said he talked to his mom about it, and his mom was in tears over the invite. It's a really cool thing for him and his family, and we've seen why he got that invite here today.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's been a while since K-State's had a senior be able to play in the Senior Bowl. And
wow, that's incredible. That's
just going to get that chance. But there's Bryce Ford-Wheaton. He came into this game leading the team in catches, total yards, and touchdowns. And so far today, he's had 2 catches for 12 yards.
Well, you know, that's because Julius Brents has put the handcuffs on him. You know, that's why he's going to the Senior Bowl. I mean, it was a big deal. You know, I went to the Senior Bowl my senior year from Kansas State. You know, and wasn't a lot of guys from Kansas State even, you know, getting invited, you know, to these bowl games. I was invited to the Shrine Bowl, and I was invited to the Senior Bowl. And, you know, it actually got me drafted going to those bowl games, performing well. Like I said, I went to Kansas State, and Kansas State wasn't cool, man. They hadn't won a game in 5 years before I got there. You know, I remember I played in 8 homecoming games my freshman. Well, I redshirted my freshman year. It was 8 homecoming games, so it was pretty bad when I first got to Kansas State. But hey, Coach Snyder, you know, got us believing and ran off all the troublemakers, and we ended up being a pretty good school.
Anderson close to the first down. The forward progress is going to leave him just maybe about a half-yard short. But you're at a point, West Virginia, you're down by 23 points. Yeah.
But, you know, you got to go behind the guy that's our best player, Zach Frazier. Give him an opportunity to blow some guys off the ball. Really good player. 6'3", 306. Smart. Calls out where the mics is. Get the guys, everybody on the same page. Really good player.
They need about a half yard, and they're going to get it and more.
Who they run behind?
You got it. Still fighting. That's an impressive run there for Jalen Anderson. Needed a half yard. He got a lot more than that as he picked up 22 and a first down up to the 43 of K-State. That little stiff arm, little swat in as well. There's a pass. It's caught, complete. That is the tight end. That's Davis. Traylon Davis. His second catch of the game. 5th of the year.
They love those guys to go out and make plays. You know, usually where they go, that's where the run play goes. And
Green throws a strike. Cortez Braham. His 4th catch. He's over 50 yards receiving today.
You look at the bottom of the screen. Bryce Ford-Wheaton.
K-State was trying to substitute late, and they didn't get everybody off the field, and they had to use a timeout.
Kansas State, it's their first of the half.
Now West Virginia going fast, and K-State thought they'd try to sneak in some subs, and Chris Kleiman not happy there that they tried to do that.
Mark, he's coaching to the end, man.
Had to use the timeout. Just over 10 minutes to play in Morgantown. Okay, use a timeout to avoid a too many men on the field call there. 10:08 to play. K-State trying to win here in Morgantown for the first time in 8 years. Haven't won here since 2014. And when they won last year in Manhattan over West Virginia, that broke a 5-game losing skid Wildcats had against the Mountaineers. First down, West Virginia. They give to Neal, who gives to James, and out of the quarterback, Green. And they'll have a first down inside the 15-yard line. And West Virginia's like, K-State, if you need to call a timeout, we got time to dial up something like this right here.
Great play. They made it happen. I showed a lot of discipline by that K-State defense, but, I mean, for them to make this play happen, it just goes to show the athlete that Green is. Go out there, make the catch, get the first down.
Aaron got it initially, gave it to Sam James. James delivered the pass complete to the quarterback Green for the pickup of 12 yards, first down. Green going to keep here. Finds a little crease, 10-5, touchdown. 13-yard rushing touchdown for quarterback Garrett Green.
Impressive drive for Green. Talking about not giving up. He wants to be here. He wants to make sure that they don't give up as they go in. He's playing hurt. Had a rough day today. We're showing the ability to go out there and score on the play. Love it. Catches the pass for a first down, then turns around and runs a little quarterback keeper. Outruns the defense for the touchdown.
West Virginia going to go for 2, down 17. They failed on a previous 2-point conversion today, and they've missed 2 extra points as well. Green rolling right, being chased and is knocked out, and play is stopped by Nick Allen, and the 2-point conversion fails after an 8-play 75-yard drive in just under 3 minutes with the Green touchdown run.
Good job by Green. Good job, Bob. Not giving up, being persistent, follows his blocking, and then he just turns on the Jets, outruns the defenders to the touchdown. I love this kid's moxie.
So failing to convert the 2-point conversion keeps it a 3-score game.
See, this is what JT Daniels doesn't have. That burst right there for the touchdown. He doesn't have that burst. But, you know, you got to understand this too. You know, they're just too far behind. They got to go for it on 2. Their kicking's not been in their corner today. So this is a tough kid. This is a tough team. They are a play away from being a very, very good team. They just got to be more disciplined. Make sure they do the proper things to be a championship type of team. That's the difference between teams like this who have all the talent in the world but don't win because the little things that they don't do to stay on track.
So anticipating an onside kick here, and instead he squibs it. And it's going to be jumped on at the 25-yard line. Roadhouse. I think everybody, including ourselves, were expecting an onside kick.
I was expecting an onside kick.
Yeah. There's the series history. History tied at 6. Again, West Virginia had won 5 in a row until K-State won in Manhattan last year, 37-10. And it's been since 2014 here in Morgantown that K-State has won. Back in 2012, they won here as well, did the Wildcats. Colin Klein, who's now their offensive coordinator, quarterback in that game.
Who was that? Who was the other quarterback in the game? Somebody that might just be playing right now.
Geno Smith?
Yeah, might be playing up in for the Seahawks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, playing very, very well for him.
Yes, he is. Playing his best football, really.
Yeah. Backup what? He's not a backup.
Here's a look at that game. Yep, there's the numbers. Colin and Geno
going head to head.
55-14 K-State.
You know, and Colin kind of bragged about it a little bit when we spoke to him about it.
Which, for him, isn't saying a whole lot because he's a really humble
Right.
That was 10 years ago now. A little over 10 years.
Wow. I mean, it just goes to show where K-State is now and where it came from. Like I said with the Kansas State, when Kansas State wasn't cool. I can remember I tried to quit, and Coach Schneider promised my mother that she was going to make me a man and make me stay at Kansas State. And I was gone. I was on a Greyhound bus. Coach Schneider said, "Nuh-uh, you bring your butt back." Pulled the bus over, took me back, and then ran me. Not ran me to death, but ran me to life. Put life back into me. Say, "Look, man, you're not going anywhere. I promise your parents you're going to graduate with a degree. You're going to be a good football player. You just got to trust me." and then started just running me to death.
Well, you told me that story about a year ago, and I want to add a little bit to it, because you're leaving Manhattan, Kansas, getting on I-70, heading east towards your hometown of St. Louis, and Coach Snyder hears that you've left town on the bus, finds out somehow.
Yeah, my roommate was a snitch.
Follows the bus, catches up to it, makes the bus pull over. The bus driver opens the door, up comes Coach Snyder, and the bus driver goes, "Coach Snyder, what are you doing here?" And he goes in the bus, finds you, pulls you off the bus.
Cusses me off the bus.
Puts you in his car and drives you back west on I-70 back towards Manhattan. And
like I said, with the Kansas State, when Kansas State wasn't cool, you know, he showed me what it takes to be somebody with discipline, being a man about everything that I was supposed to do. You know, not saying, you know, at that point, but I was just very, very undisciplined at the time. You know, I wanted to do everything I wanted to do, and it wasn't about what I wanted to do. It's about being a team, having those team type of concepts. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, so.
Great story. Thank goodness he did. And by the way, that's just enough for a first down there for K-State. We showed the line score of the game from 10 years ago here in 2012, and that year K-State won the regular season in the Big 12. There was no Big 12 championship game. We're going to take a timeout. The last time K-State actually made it to the Big 12 championship game.
Timeout. Kansas State. This is a 30-second timeout.
It was in 2003. They won the North Division. Oklahoma won the South. Oklahoma was the dominant team. Bob Stoops' team was like a 2-touchdown favorite. They played that game at Arrowhead in Kansas City.
Yep.
And K-State absolutely smacked OU 35-7 to win the 2003 Big 12 championship game. And if they win this game, they would have to win next week against Kansas or have Texas lose this week. And they're up big right now, 31-0 on Kansas, so that's looking unlikely. So they would either need to, if everything holds serve, have Texas lose next week, or K-State win here and win next week against Kansas.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the parity in the league right now, the parity in the Big 12 conference. You know, so many good players, so many good teams.
You know, look at some of these games, though. These are some of the weird games. Number one, look at the first one, Kansas, West Virginia. The first two games for West Virginia, when they lost at Pittsburgh on the real fluky play, a ball hits a helmet, and then they lost in overtime to Kansas. They started 0-2. You know, if they win those two games, it's Pittsburgh and Kansas, I think the narrative around West Virginia right now is a lot different.
It would be a lot different. You know, like I said, they're a play away from being a really good team.
Some of those other scores, you know, teams where they were ranked at that time. TCU got by Oklahoma State in 2 overtimes. They beat Texas, and then Oklahoma State kind of fell off. They had some key injuries. K-State behind Will Howard smacked them 48-0. They lead it by 17 with 6.5 minutes to play in Morgantown. Howard fires out of reach of Knowles, incomplete, and there is a flag.
Pass intended for Malik Knowles. Flag on the play.
You can't impede a receiver from getting where you gotta go.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 28, defense. It's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Tori, any more on Garrett Green's condition down there?
Yeah, Mark, he's taken a beating in this game. He looks like he might be feeling it just a little bit. This is the second time we've seen him go over, get a little bit of ointment on his lower back from the trainers. They also retaped that tape under his sleeves on his arms. You know, obviously nothing that's taken him out of this game, but he has definitely taken some hits.
Yeah, he's 5'11", 200 pounds, playing with the big boys.
DJ Giddens. DJ just keeps pushing it.
Giddens on the carry.
Get up to the 46-yard line of West Virginia.
See, Mark, when I was in the school, you know, in Kansas State, it was the Big 8 conference. That's when Oklahoma was great. Colorado was great, winning national championship. Nebraska was great. I mean, some of the teams that came out of this conference, you know, were winning national championships. It wasn't the SEC then. It was the Big 8 conference back then.
Yeah, the OU Nebraska game was the game of the year.
Oh yes, absolutely.
To decide the Big 8 and
You know, I remember Brian Bosworth, all those guys there. Mike Rozier, Nebraska. I played golf with him. He can play golf. He can also play running back in the day.
Yeah. Giddens, he's stymied there. Forward progress, no gain for DJ Giddens. That clock continues to tick with a 17-point lead for Kansas State.
Tackle made by Mike Lockhart.
So Eric Bieniemy was in Colorado.
No gain.
Now the offensive coordinator for Kansas City.
3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. The Mountaineers 46. In motion goes Knowles. Low snap. Howard has it. Throws on the move, and there is Knowles near the sticks. He'll have the 1st down. They tried to strip the ball away from him. Burks did, but couldn't do that, nor could they prevent him from getting the 1st down all the way up to the 35 of the Mountaineers.
Knowles is really a special player, you know. We haven't talked about him a lot this game, even though he scored, but, you know, his ability to you know, keep from getting tackled and to run through tackles, and his ability to catch and come back to the ball.
West Virginia, it's our first of the half. Timeout on the field.
4.5 minutes to play in Morgantown at timeout. Final home season for the West Virginia Mountaineers. And for Kansas State, they're going to get Kansas in Manhattan next week. Most likely with a chance to clinch a berth in the Big 12 championship. Take a look at the Big 12 standings. TCU, Griffin Kell field goal to end the game. To go to 11-0, 8-0 in conference. Keep their CFP hopes alive. Deuce Vaughn on 1st down. Won't get anything as he is met and stopped quickly. Dante Stills with some help from Jordan Jefferson.
By Jordan Jefferson.
You know, I'm looking at this defense and the athletes that they have out there. I mean, all those guys can run. They can play at a high level. You know, Seals, you know, all these guys have the opportunity to be great. But if they could just make sure they take care of the little things, you know, this could be a really, really good football team. Kansas State, they don't make as many mistakes. That's why they can go out and continue to win.
Hand it off to Deuce. That's a really good play by Stills there, number 55, who's playing in his 58th career game. That's a school record. But playing in his final game here at home.
Yeah, he'll play at the next level. If he chooses to, he'll play at the next level. He is a skilled player, a very good player.
So Texas up big on Kansas, 31-0 at the half. So it would take a monumental Kansas comeback.
You did say they were a second-half team.
Well, that's a pretty big mountain to climb. So if things stay put here with a K-State win and if Texas wins, it's going to come down to next Saturday and the final week of the regular season in the Big 12 with K-State controlling their own destiny. They would just have to beat Kansas.
Well, it's going to be a battle. You know, that's a, you know, Coach Leopold, the head coach, he's really good at changing the whole program around. You know, it was the bottom of the barrel for a long time, and right now it's not just you're not going to go into Lawrence and just think you're just going to beat up on them.
So West Virginia, this is their final home game. You have to wonder, you know, 3-4 months from now when they play spring ball, what's this team going to look like?
Right, right.
On and off the field.
Yes, exactly.
The handoff, Deuce Vaughn. He wrestled down at the 31-yard line for a gain of 4.
It could be drastically different. I know.
West Virginia, it's their final timeout of the half. Maybe a 30-second timeout.
You know, I got a good friend of mine, Jeremiah Trotter, that I played with the Philadelphia Eagles. And his son, he has one son that's playing for Clemson right now, starting middle linebacker. And his other son, will be playing here at WVU next season.
Recruited by Neil Brown and his staff.
Yes.
You know, everybody knows, at least the West Virginia fans do, Shane Lyons, the athletic director, let go on Monday. Anytime, especially if you're the head football coach, you know, let's face it, college football, that drives the engine at all these schools.
Absolutely.
And the athletic director that hired Neil Brown was let go. So just in your mind, you think to yourself, okay, there's some instability. Where's it going to go? Whoever they do hire as the next AD will have the call whether he goes or stays.
Right. And you know, if you want to hook your wagon up to a former coach, you know, you want that former coach to be pretty good. And at this point, you know, his record doesn't depict that he's been good. So he's coming, and whoever they hire is going to come in with a totally new way of thinking.
Going for Knowles on 4th down, and it's incomplete. So they'll turn it over on downs. If they would elect to move on, the new athletic director, they still owe Coach Brown like $20 million. They would have to pay him.
He's not mad.
Walk away.
Yeah, he's not mad. Yeah, when you look at this play on the outside, one-on-one with Knowles, and the ball's kind of underthrew a little bit, you know. Howard trying to hit him on the back shoulder throw. It looked like it was pass interference, but it wasn't a catchable ball.
So West Virginia takes over at their own 31 with just 3:36 to play, down 17. Now they were in a 14-0 hole just a couple of minutes into this game and have really been trying to dig out of that the entire day.
A little costly mistakes to put him at this point.
Great design run, but well read. Nice play there by Khalid Duke, strong side linebacker.
Brought down by Khalid Duke. Gain of 2.
Green has to roll out, being chased again by Duke. Throws it around.
Hits the ground again. That's a tough kid, I'm telling you. Green is a tough guy. He has been hit, knocked down, pushed around all day. Still gets up, still competing at a high level. Gaining respect of his teammates.
Well, the offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell, a couple of weeks into the season said, hey, do you mind if we use you as a Wildcat or, you know, blind you up a wide receiver? And he's like, yeah, get me in the games. And that was really his role until last week when it looked like, okay, he could have this job in the season. Looks like he's going to play the entire game here. We'll see what happens next week with he and JT Daniels, who starts the final game of the season for West Virginia next Saturday against Oklahoma State in Stillwater. A game, by the way, which you can see on ESPN2 at noon Eastern time next Saturday. Fourth down and 8. 4-man rush. Green throws. That ball's deflected, incomplete. Josh Hayes was the closest to catching that, going for a pick. And now West Virginia turns it right back over on downs with just 3:03 to play.
Bryce Ford-Wheaton had a tough day today.
Well,
tough day.
It seems to me, Barrett, that K-State looked at Bryce Ford-Wheaton and the defensive coordinator for the Wildcats, Joe Klanderman, and said, look, if there's one guy in that receiving crew we don't want to beat us, it's Ford-Wheaton. Now, granted, because of all the focus on Ford-Wheaton, it was kind of a career day for Sam James, who had 3 touchdowns. But end result is going to be a K-State win.
Well, you look at, you know, Bryce Ford-Wheaton, he's a bigger receiver, 6'3", 224. But then you got to look at Julius Brents. He's 6'4", 202. Perfect matchup, size against size. Both really good athletes. Both have aspirations playing at the next level.
DJ Giddens on the carry there. By the way, Caden Prather, we've not seen him hit the field today for West Virginia. I haven't been told any reason why he has not played today.
Right.
So he's another part of that receiving corps for West Virginia.
Yeah, you know, number 3, Prather's pretty good also. That trio, you know, you look at them, you know, toe-to-toe, they're probably one of the most productive receiving corps in the Big 12.
Very impressive receivers, no question, for West Virginia. If you ask me, what really put a damper for the end of the season here is when C.J. Donaldson had the season-ending injury.
Absolutely.
Because his size, his power, it really has just stymied the running game for West Virginia the rest of the way.
Well, you know, that offensive line playing with a big back like that, going downhill, always falling forward, special player. It really hurt their opportunity to run their offense. Now you can't do play action, push the ball down the field to get to those big play receivers.
3rd and 1 here for the K-State offense inside the 25 for the Mountaineers with the clock running under 2 minutes to go. Giddens should have enough for the first down. Very close to the line to gain. And it will be a first down. And K-State can go into victory formation here.
The best play in football, victory formation.
Kansas State. This is going to be career win number 100 for Chris Kleiman as a head coach. Through his time as a head coach for North Dakota State, where he did a lot of winning and won some national titles at the FCS level.
Carson Wentz.
The Wildcats, Carson Wentz, who Coach Kleiman is still very close with and
yes,
stays in contact with. The handshakes and the hugs for Kansas State as they're going to improve to 8-3 overall, 6-2 in conference. And again, barring a big Texas collapse in Lawrence in the second half today, K-State will either need a win over Kansas next Saturday or a Texas loss to join TCU in the title game. There's the athletic director of K-State, Gene Taylor, giving him a hug.
Gene Taylor done a masterful job bringing in his guy and establishing a new culture here.
West Virginia will drop to 4-7 and 2-6 in conference, and they have no more opportunity to reach bowl eligibility. That ship has now sailed. And we'll see what the future of West Virginia football looks like after the season finale next Saturday. So 48-31 Kansas State is going to be the final as the final seconds tick off. What you think of Will Howard today with the start for K-State?
I think he did a great job running his team. You could tell his team loves working with him. They believe in him. They came out and fought for him. Defense played well enough to stop him when they had to stop him. This is a team that, could really go far,
Well, Chris Kleiman, the coach, K-State down on the field with Tori.
Thanks, Mark. Coach, a fantastic day for your offense today. What can you say about the way your quarterback, Will Howard, played?
Great resolve. Kid played his tail off. A lot of family close to here. He's ready for this moment. He's proved it throughout the season when he's had opportunities. He knew he was going to start the whole week, and I thought he played a darn good football game.
Defense really improved in that second half. What did you like about what they did?
They did a really good job. We didn't play very well in the first half. Give West Virginia credit. Our guys kind of rose up in that second half, and I'm proud of them. This is a good team, hard to win here.
All right, Coach, you are 1 win away from the Big 12 championship. Report for you from Texas. Texas is up over Kansas right now, so not doing you any. Kansas not doing you any favors.
I'm going to just enjoy this one.
Of course,
and we'll worry about next week. We got to control what we can control, and that's all we're talking about.
But what does this win mean to you guys? As you guys are just 1 win away from being
able to. It's just on to the next one. I'm not going there. It's on to the next one, and that's what these kids have talked about, of just staying the course and doing all we can and controlling what we can control.
Thank you so much, Coach. Congrats.
Thanks.
Coach Kleiman, Tori, thanks very much. Much different second half than first half. A lot of points in the first half. All we had was a touchdown on each side.
Exactly. He understands what he has, and this is a great win for Kansas State. They understand that they can be in a position to play in the Big 12 championship.
Well,
great win for him.
Coach Kleiman can enjoy this one with his team, but they're 1 win away from making it to the Big 12 championship game against TCU next week. We'll see how it plays out. That's going to take care of things from Morgantown for our great crew. Tori Petrie, Barrett Brooks, I'm Mark Neely. So long from Morgantown.